talking about reverse engineering Islam, and we're going to go into a couple of stories. We're going to do my favorite method of research, which is just talking to AI, guys. You know what I'm saying? Why go through all the nonsense? You don't have to read any books. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Just talk to AI, and then you're a scholar. RJP. What's up, RJP? Man, I keep trying to fix my look. This thing is, I don't like where the words are cut off, but every time I try to move it, it makes it worse. So I'm going to just leave it. Anyway, so today we're talking about, I really want to talk about today the story about Abraham and Hagar and Ishmael and how they supposedly go to Mecca. That's what I want to talk about today. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about how Muhammad creates Islam through unification. Because basically what you're going to see is that Muhammad just stole everyone's religion. That's what he did, guys. So W. Muhammad, I guess, I don't know. I mean, he did a pretty good job. I mean, he did something. He did something, guys. It's not like he did nothing, right? He did something. So let's just I'm gonna get everything set up. I appreciate you guys who are tapping the screen. Thank you for that. We're just gonna set up a couple of things, do a couple tests on all the overlays. There's a lot of overlays going on here. Let me make sure this works. Okay, that's good. That's just a test. Nobody actually subscribed to my YouTube. On that note, people subscribing to the YouTube, we got 100, I think we got 140 subs already for the month. For the month, we're at 140 subs. We're doing amazing. That's amazing. I've been streaming for a little minute, and this is dope. Let me see if I can show you this. Should I show you this? It's not a big deal, right? Nothing on here, nothing crazy. Yeah, check this out. Oh, it's backwards anyway. You guys can't see it. Never mind. 143 subs for the month, guys, on YouTube. Right now, we're at 1,500 subscribers, almost to 1,600 subscribers. Shout out to you guys for that. Let me see here. All right. I think we got most of the things going. Make sure the chat's working. I see the hearts are definitely working, so that's good. I appreciate you guys who are, yep, chat looks like it's working as well. All right, so let's get into it, guys. We're going to see, let me see first. Actually, you know what? I need to pull one thing up from my notes. Let me see. Where's that at? That's weird. Where's my applaud notes? What the heck? I don't have applaud notes. 1 second, guys. I just got to pull up my notes. I just took a couple notes using my AI assistant, as always. Let's see. Where are we at? That's what I'm looking for. Yes, Islam is a Timu version. Actually, you're guys gonna see today, Islam is a Timu version of every religion, basically. It's a Timu version of Zoroastrianism, Timu version of paganism, Timu version of Judaism, Timu version of Christianity, so on and so on. Where's my plot app, dude? Here we go. Got it right here. Found it. Okay. Audio settings. Nope, that's not what I need. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna try to go into detail as much as I can. But basically, Okay, so you got, what do you got? You got the Kaaba, which we already know is pagan. The black stone, this one's interesting. I found out that black stone that's on the Kaaba, apparently that black stone had been passed down through different cultures. It was always like a revered black stone, and everybody, took it for their own purposes, and eventually ended up in Muhammad's hands. But again, that's just something that existed in from other, like, basically pagan beliefs. Then you got obviously they took all the Jewish stuff, all the prophets, tried to make them Muslim somehow. They took Jesus, changed his story up to make him Muslim somehow. And you can pretty much get an idea of how this all happened, right? Hold on, let me see if I can get my notes here. 1 second, guys. Pull this up. All right, here we go. So let's see. All right, here we go. So we got Arabian paganism, number one. This is from the Kaaba and the Black Stone. It's a cubical structure in Mecca housing 360 idols before Muhammad. And one of the main ones was Hubal, which is a moon god, which is where they get their moon symbol. I've always thought that was weird for them to have that moon symbol. And the veneration of a black meteoric rock by kissing it and circumambulating the structure. And where that comes from is, so basically, oh no, this is how it was. Let me look this up. Watch, here we go. Let's go ahead and pull up AI now, guys. 1 second. And as always, if you're Muslim and you know it, clap your hands. 1 second, guys. Where is it? The hell is this? That's interesting. Oh yeah, it's right here. Okay, cool. All right, we got that up. My bald kuffar. This guy. Fit, come up here, bro. I'm his bald kuffar now. That's crazy. What's going on, Fit? Fit, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I didn't like you in the beginning. I didn't really like you in the beginning. You know that, right? But you're starting to grow on me. What's up, Fit? He's getting yelled at.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, I got you. All right, let me type a couple of things in here. So let's talk about, maybe should I put it on voice mode so you guys can hear it? Let's try that out. Where does the ritual for the black stone from the Kaaba come from? Let me know if you guys can hear this when it comes.
The ritual comes from the Prophet Muhammad's practice. Muslims kiss, touch, or point to the black stone during Tawaf, the 7 counterclockwise circuits around the Kaaba, because that's what he did, and they follow his example. Islamic tradition says the stone itself fell from paradise during Adam's time, was originally white, and turned black from human sins. The angel Gabriel gave it to Abraham and Ishmael when they rebuilt.
What, bro? I can see you waking up in the morning and be like, Baldy, where's Baldy at?
Mr. Goldilocks. Have you watched the 20v1?
Yeah, I saw that. You guys are late on that. Why didn't you guys watch that? That was like last week.
Well, we're in the UK, man. But how did you feel about your Christian sisters getting baked by one Muslim sister?
Is that how you felt? You think they got baked?
They got cooked.
Which part do you think they got baked on?
From the beginning to the end.
Nah, stop the cap, bro. That's definitely cap. I thought the first two prompts the Christians knocked it out the park, and then the last two prompts the Christians kind of dropped the ball a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. You're not a Christian, so how come like you're into all of this stuff?
He was raised a Muslim. No, sorry, a Christian.
Yeah.
So that get fit.
So he's kind of biased.
I'm kind of biased, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit biased to peaceful religions over violent ones. You know what I mean? I don't know about
Shalom,
you.
everybody. Shalom.
Sajida, how you doing?
Sajida.
Sajida, I knew that. I was just testing you. Sajida,
I just let you say it wrong.
Yeah, I see that now. I'm like, Sajida, did
Yes.
I hear you on Logic's live recently? Is that what I
Yes,
heard?
that was my
you?
testimony. Yeah, that was me.
That was so nice hearing you say that. I was like, wow, she's
Thank
famous.
you.
She's famous now.
But you know, that was like a very short version of my testimony, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much more I could have said, but you know, it just came out. You know, when you want to hear something crazy about what happened? So I was getting ready to leave my house, and I put my phones in my pocket because I have like 3 phones, you know, 2 business, 1 personal, and I just put them in one pocket, and I'm like running around the house, and all of a sudden I hear Logic. I'm like, why? Like, this is weird. Like, why am I hearing Logic, right? So I'm like, is my YouTube on my TV? No. And then his voice is coming out of my pocket. I open my phone, and it's his live. And I never, like, you know,
Can you ask him why does he keep running away from Libiana?
I got a call. My bad. So I wasn't even on TikTok. His
Can
voice
you
just
ask?
randomly.
Can you ask Dog Logic why he keeps running away from Libiana?
Wait, hold on. I was speaking. His
I
live
know,
just
but I'm
randomly
saying to you,
started.
can you
I know,
ask?
but I'm in the
Can
middle
you
of
ask
saying
Dog
something.
Logic?
You think
I
you want
know,
me to
but
care
no
about
one
what you have to
cares
say?
though. Only you care.
Relax. Go ahead.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, my bad. Bro.
You're
Only
obviously
she cares.
Sunni, Arab, Muslim. That's
Yes, but you have
exactly
to
what you have to
understand
be
something. The
with this
Jews and the Romans.
behavior. You can't be anything else.
Relax. Let her tell her testimony. I want to hear it, and then we can move on.
I know, but it's boring though, bro, man.
Okay,
Bloody
brother,
hell.
relax.
Oh,
Make your coffee while you know what I'm saying while she finishes, and then we can.
no problem. I'll be back another time. Bless.
Okay, bless. What's up, Sajid? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying the live just randomly started playing on my phone. So when I opened it, it was like ex-Muslims come up. I was like, oh my God, like Jesus is literally telling me to go up there right now.
When was this?
Yesterday or 2 days ago, I think.
Oh, it was super recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that he does that. Like today he did a live for ex-Jehovah Witness. You know, like he not only just like demolishes the false doctrines, but also like builds relationships and makes room and space for people to come talk about their testimonies and
No, I love hearing those videos because it's really interesting to me to listen. Like, you know, sometimes I feel like I go, or even all of us, everybody who does this, we kind of go all out of our way to do all these really deep things. Like we try to find these like secret mysteries of Islam and expose it. But then when I listen to those testimonies from the ex-Muslims, it's like, yeah, bro, like I didn't even know Aisha was 6 years old. Once I heard that, I was out. I was like, what the hell? Like, is that?
yeah, because they don't talk about it like that. You know what I mean? Or they say it in a different way, and like that's why like educating is important. But like, you think everybody was playing nice with me when I was coming into the truth? No way. Like, I mean, I would go in the debates and they would like, you know, drag me.
Yeah, but it's just interesting. It just kind of reminds me like sometimes we could just say the simple stuff like, hey, did you know Aisha was 6? And that's happened to me in real life. I've had times where I'm like talking to a bunch of Muslims and there's a new guy in the group and he's like, what? Aisha was 6? And he didn't even know. And he's been a Muslim for like months now, you know?
Yeah.
So
They tend to keep the evil stuff a secret.
No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
crazy.
secret. We all know, we accept it. Let's not pretend like it's a secret.
Yeah, the part that I get surprised by that is because I'm like, you would think that this would be one of the first things they tell them about to like,
Brother, that's obvious. That's all over the internet. Everyone knows. Like,
If
it's not
you
like a
think that
secret.
Muslims talk about
Listen,
this in their household, like you're nuts. You're a nut job. If you think
brother,
parents sit down and teach their kids about Aisha being 6 and
I
then
was
being
told that one
raped
was
at
2 years
9.
old. I was told that was.
Oh, well, it explains why you are the way that you are then.
And also, do you know you're Christian probably? Well, you know Rebecca was 3. So you went from Islam to Christianity. Same shit. Same shit.
Hold
Just
on one
same
second. I'm
coin.
getting a call.
Okay, scary.
Yeah.
What do you like? What's your main point that you want to reverse engineer about Islam? Let's say like one thing you want to reverse engineer.
So the main thing that I'm focused on lately is the idea of Tawhid, right? Because I found out recently that Tawhid means unification. And so this reminded me a lot of like there's other belief systems that have existed before that have basically done this. They take a little bit from everybody and they put it together to unify the people essentially. And that's what I'm seeing is that's what Muhammad did. He took everything from other religions. The Kaaba was for pagans. The moon sign that you guys have was from the moon god Hubal. The rock that you guys kiss was a rock that was famously going around like pretty much to different empires before Muhammad. The Qibla used to be Jewish. You took, the God. Obviously you took the Jewish God. You took the Christian God. The virgins apparently the 72
Of
virgins
Fita
was
prayer.
already. Mm-hmm. The 72 virgins
What's
was a
that prayer
thing.
called?
The Qibla is it's not the name of the prayer.
No,
It's the
Al-Fahita?
or what's
No,
that?
let Scary speak. Give him a second. Let me
Yeah,
No, I
finish.
and
was
then
just trying to put a cool point.
yeah, you got the what was the last thing I said? Qibla.
About the virgins, 72
The 72
virgins.
virgins came from Zoroastrian beliefs. So yeah, it's basically what you would expect to happen if you're a guy living in an area and you're a merchant, right? Thank you, little dear, for the gifts. And you're just going around hearing stories and you just want to, because the thing about it, I think what Muhammad realized was that he knew by the time the 7th century came around that people, they did have these conflicting stories about Jesus. Like I always think about how the Quran says, where it talks about the crucifixion, and it says, in regards to those people who say they crucified the Messiah, the son of Mary, and it literally says at the end of it, what does it say? Like it says, like it acknowledges that they are like in doubt about it. They're like in disrepute, or what is it? You know what I'm talking about, Fit? Let me show you.
Yeah, I know.
What is this? What verse is that? Hold on. Crucified. Is it crucified? Is that what they're talking about? Let me see. I'm gonna show you what I said. Crucified. Yeah, here we go.
You know
Yo,
what's so
Fit, I see you.
scary? When you're put in a position where since you're a little girl, like or a little child, and the adults in your life, the ones that are supposed to protect you, the ones that love you the most, the ones that are supposed to honor and cherish you and raise you to be a good human being and a great part of society, they raise you to believe that defiling little girls is okay. I mean, you can't really blame this kid up here.
But where does Islam teach the
Like
defiling?
we can't blame this kid, what's his name, FT,
Yeah.
whatever it is. We can't
Yeah.
blame him
No,
for
you
being a
can't.
scumbag
You really
and
can't.
thinking that it's okay to defile little girls, right? His
Oh, no, you're
parents
speaking
told him
out
that
of
it's okay. The
emotions.
society that he was raised around tells him that it's okay.
Yeah,
And he's
they
worried
don't
about
know any better.
Christianity.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sajda,
Go get a
can you
life,
explain what
bro.
you mean by
At
defiling
least
a
my
little?
beliefs don't hurt anybody. Your beliefs literally hurt humanity.
Here, let me read this for you, Fit. So look,
Yeah, that's what you believe.
Deje por oír
Okay.
para
let
sag.
me read this for you, Fit. Look, so look, and
Do you
for
know
their
what your friends did to Africa when they came with Christianity?
Fit, let me read this real quick. Look, and
Do
for
you
their
think Christians
saying,
are so innocent?
Fit, for
You
the
don't
love
want to
of
talk
God.
about slavery, bro.
Yo,
Fit, look
Fit,
at
bro.
Trust me, you
I'll
don't want
give
to
you a
go
hug,
there.
brother, after this. Don't worry.
Look at this. And for their saying, indeed we have unalived the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, the messenger of Allah. And they did not unalive him, nor did they crucify him, but another was made to resemble them. And indeed, those who differ over it are in doubt about it. You see what I'm saying? You see this right here, Fit? This is the situation that was, because you got to think this is 700 years like later, right? So like what was happening when you look at what was like how things played out, it's pretty obvious that people did believe in the crucifixion initially. And then over time, people started to make up different possible scenarios, right? And then, so for example, you could take this example right here of somebody else looking like Jesus on the cross, right? Let's see. Do you think that might come from somewhere else? Let me see.
It does from Gnostic text.
Mm-hmm. Where does the idea of Jesus being replaced on the cross come from? And so, like, when you look at all these things, if you look at pretty much anything that's Islam and you just do a search, you can see these are all things that were already existing when Muhammad was around. So Muhammad being at the center of like a trading.
Can I ask you a question then?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think like a random guy, Muhammad, born in a desert, knew all about this stuff and somehow made it into a book?
Listen, because he was a merchant, dude. That's why
within 20 years, he made all this stuff in a book, Hadith, everything, Quran. How is that possible?
That's not impressive.
It's not hard to steal a bunch of ideas and put them in a book, brother.
Wait, but why are we acting like the Quran and the Hadith were there during Muhammad's time? Both came after.
Exactly. And that's the other part, is that you guys make it sound, right? First of all, 20 years is not impressive. It doesn't take 20 years to write a book, right? Even just within that 20 years, you can see how there could have easily just been updates and corrections and adding more and more to the story. That's literally how it goes. And then like Sajida said, you do have even more time, because then all the stuff that the Hadiths add are what, like 100 years later, 200-300 years later? How long is it?
200 years. An average of 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you believe like the Quran was made up by the caliphates after Muhammad died or something, yeah?
Yeah, so
the Hadith is like made up religion.
Think about the Hadith system, right? What is the Hadith system? The Hadith system is where people are going around telling stories that Muhammad supposedly said or did, and they're saying, bro, trust me, because I heard this from this guy who heard that guy say it. Trust me, is real, right? And you got to understand the consequences of it. That time would have been, if you can get your idea believed, then you might be able to change some policy or get some sort of influence. So people were going around. This is why you have 600,000 narratives that were basically found, and only 1% were like quote unquote authentic, because people were doing this. They were doing this to try to push their agendas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the same thing the Romans did to the Bible. So it's not like something, but at least in Islam, they threw away the fabrication.
But what I'm saying is that it would be like the modern day of saying, yo, I know Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, Trump, bro, trust me. Trump said that we could do this or not do that. You get what I'm saying? And then back in the day, you didn't really have a way of verifying like you do now. You get what I'm saying? And then you guys say we have the Hadith sciences, but what is that? Oh, yeah, like my friend who I agree with on everything, and he says exactly what I want. Like, he's definitely a known truth teller, like, for sure. And then this other guy who he's my political opponent. Oh yeah, that guy's a known liar, fake news. Like, that's not a system, dude. Like, that's not real.
Yeah, no,
that's pretty much the chain of Hadiths, right?
That's the chain, how it works. Yeah, it's a story with a list of names on top of it, and you say, oh, I like this guy, I don't like this guy, and it's
scary. It's not like the chains are based on random.
It's like telephone, but in Arabic.
It's literally telephone, but in Arabic, literally.
Yeah.
Scary. The chain was based on known. Okay, let's say like you're right. Okay, so let's say that you're right. Islam's fabricated, fake religion. Why does it bother you so much?
Wait. You're agreeing to all this?
No, let's say for the sake of the argument.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because, like I said, the core tenet that I don't like about Islam is the fact that they claim to be the last messenger and the seal of the prophets, and that Muhammad's the perfect moral example for all mankind. If it wasn't for those things, I literally wouldn't care how the story played out.
But it is, brother. It is.
Because then I could say, okay, that was just some nonsense that happened, 1,400 years ago, whatever. It's in the past. But because you guys make that claim that this is something that he's the final messenger, there's never going to be a new one, that already implies that you can never, come out of these archaic beliefs.
Listen, okay, but why do you care? You're not Muslim, scary. You're not Muslim. Why do you care?
Because you know why? Because when I look at the rest of the world is getting along just fine. Jews, Christians, Hindus, like, everybody's just moving forward, and then the only guys doing weird shit is you guys still, everywhere. And okay, I'm sick of, like, every time I turn on the TV or turn on anything, that's all I ever see is somebody yelling Allahu Akbar and doing some crazy stuff.
Okay, but the entire 20th century, those wars are nothing but wars in Christian countries. But let's forget about that. But why still do you care? Why do you care if Muslims are bombing themselves, killing themselves? Why do you care?
They're not just bombing themselves. Number one, I would care even if they were just bombing themselves, I would still care, right? But no, they're not just bombing themselves. On top of that,
you guys are trying to take over the world, bro.
You guys are like beheading Christians. What are you talking about? Why
and making fun of it? And making fun of it too.
Yeah, you guys mock the 21 Copts every day.
Yeah, it's
why
crazy.
shouldn't we care?
I was watching yesterday. There's literally slavery right now in Sudan and in places like Pakistan today. These things still exist.
And Saudi, they sell girls on an app.
What a coincidence that they're Muslim nations. What a coincidence.
So wars on somehow. Why do you forget about Christian countries had wars on those like?
That's what I'm saying. You see, like even you don't even hear yourself. You're like, why don't you care about Muslim countries had?
You're pretty much saying
it's in the past,
no,
dude.
Christian
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Brother.
You guys are comparing what you're doing today to things that people may or may not have done thousands of years ago. Do you see how?
They always do this, Scary. They always go like, "Oh wait, but you guys did it." That just doesn't justify. Like we'll say that it's not right either. We'll say it's not right either.
Everyone knows that for some reason ancient people were crazy. Everyone knows that.
Brother,
the Romans
20th
were
century
crazy, the Christians were crazy,
listen.
The Jews were
20th
crazy.
century was like 20 years ago, brother.
The Mayans were crazy. The Mayans used to play soccer with each other's heads. Like, we know this, but like I said,
brother, 20th century is a long time ago.
Other cultures have left all that stuff in the past, except for you. You guys are literally it's like you wrote another Old Testament.
But you guys
you're trying to bring us back to the Old Testament,
brother.
And nobody wants to go there. Nobody else believes that stoning people is a justifiable way of carrying out justice.
But why
nobody
do you care,
else believes. Like you could make I don't know if it's true, but you could, I guess, make an argument that people used to marry kids back in the day. Okay, but you guys are still the only ones still pushing for it today, right? You could make the argument that there was slaves in the past, but you guys are still the only ones doing it today,
brother. And Fit, the reason why Scary and I care and Shahida cares is because you guys are literally saying out in public, like we're gonna conquer the world. Islam is gonna be in every household, like, and then you have this
But why do you care when random Muslim guy says something?
No, and then the worst part of it all is that you guys aren't even benefiting from this nonsense. It would be one thing if you guys were, if you had all this crazy shit.
Bro, we're benefiting. You don't know how, but we're benefiting.
If you had all this crazy shit and then you guys were winning, but then you guys are losing everywhere on top of that, and then you're crying about it. Like, you guys are causing this problem for yourselves. And then you cry about it, and then you're like, "Why is this happening to us?" It's because you guys have like shit beliefs.
So you think the wars in Sudan has something to do with Islam somehow?
No, it's a coincidence. Hold on a second.
Make a short out of this, bro.
Thank you, Jason, for that. I'll make a short out of it. Yeah, I gotta basically I gotta say yes, bro. It has to do something with Islam. I'm sorry, because it's just it happens in too many places for it to be a coincidence. That's the problem. That's the problem. And then, like I always say, when you read the Quran, they're just doing what the Quran says. They're just literally doing what the Quran says.
And Scary, we're just trying to understand your logic behind why you care so much about.
I just told you. Why.
Bunch of bullshit, brother.
Look at this. For example, look. Let's read. Where does the replacement theory come for Jesus? Look. It says here, it comes from Quran 4:157. The verse says, the Jews unalived him or crucified him not, but it was made to appear so to them. That's a direct source of the Islamic belief. Early Muslim commentators developed the substitution idea from that verse. Someone else was made to look like Jesus and crucified in his place. They suggested the names like Judas, Simon, Cyrene, or a random Jew, of course. However, the idea isn't completely new. A very similar concept shows up in 2nd century Gnostic Christianity, especially with the Basilids, who reportedly taught that Simon of Cyrene was transformed to look like Jesus. Like, this is what I'm talking about. And so if you're somebody like Muhammad who's just going around hearing random stories when you're on your merchant trips, you're like, oh, okay, so nobody really knows what happened 700 years ago. Let me just fill in the blanks. That's all he did. It's It's pretty damn obvious. What happened to Fit? He got upset. Vanessa says it's not BS. The host is absolutely correct. That's right, man. This is, to me, it's obvious. I don't know how you guys fall for this nonsense. For me, it's pretty damn obvious. I'll give you another one. How they force the narrative. This is one of my favorite ones about Abraham. Thank you for the gifts, guys, on YouTube. Tell me about the Abraham narrative as if you are a believer. And give me the relevant historical claims from the Bible and Quran. Keep it concise. Let's see what it says. So you guys know the story of Abraham. Supposedly Abraham had a kid, Ishmael, and then in the Bible it basically says that he wasn't going to be the child of promise, and so
Yeah.
he had who was the other kid?
Isaac, no?
Isaac, right? So then
Isaac was the one that was promised.
So then they had Isaac, and then Ishmael started bothering Isaac. So God told Sarah, or Sarah got pissed first, but then God told her to let's go ahead and send them away. And then, so let's read it here. So God makes a covenant with Abraham and promises his descendants as numerous as the stars. Sarah gives him Hagar, who gives birth to Ishmael. Later, Sarah miraculously has Isaac in her old age. God tests Abraham by commanding him to sacrifice Isaac. After Sarah dies, Abraham sends Hagar and Ishmael away into the wilderness. Oh, this was after Sarah died? That's not true. That was I'm pretty sure Sarah was the one who told him to go away. Anyway, the Quran says Abraham and his son Ishmael together rebuild Kaaba in Mecca. Abraham is commanded to sacrifice his son. Anyway, the point is, where does Ishmael go in the Bible when he is sent away with his mom? And where
They go to like the deserts of Paran, I believe, from what I remember.
And where do they go
And
in the Quran?
Arabs say that Paran is like Saudi, but it's not. It's around the Sinai area.
So it says here in the Bible, Abraham sends Hagar and Ishmael away into the desert of Beersheba. They run out of water.
Oh, Beersheba, okay.
They run out of water, but God shows Hagar a well. Later, Ishmael settles in the wilderness of Paran, and that is the Sinai Peninsula area. He grows up there and marries Egyptian woman. Let me see, hold on.
There was a guy called J49er one time that explained that where the Quran says that they settled is like miles and miles away from where they were.
Do you guys know Mecca?
Yeah.
No idea.
You know how they have the Zamzam water?
Yeah.
They believe that to be the well for Ishmael. That's far. That's far from the Beersheba and where they really were.
Right.
Oh, it says the Quran doesn't even name Hagar? I didn't know that. I thought they knew who Hagar was. I guess they got it.
They knew, well, not by her name. She's mentioned her story, but not her name. The only woman's name that's mentioned in the Quran is Maryam, which is supposed to be the Virgin Mary.
Yeah. So here in the Bible version, they end up in Paran, right? They go to Beersheba first, and then they end up in Paran. In the Quran version, it says Abraham leaves her and her baby Ishmael in a barren, uncultivated valley by God's command, identified as Mecca. So this is where like the story splits, right? They take that story in the Bible, and this is the part I don't understand, right? Like when this was written by the Jews, they wouldn't have had no reason to make that up, right? Where Abraham ended up, or where Ishmael ended up, right? But then when the Muslims
they treat it like it's some kind of conspiracy theory.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They would have just wrote, yeah, he ended up here, whatever, no biggie. But then the Muslims come and say, no, actually that didn't happen. He actually left Thank you for subscribing, resisting. He actually left Jerusalem and went all the way to Saudi Arabia or Mecca or whatever. And when I look
So
at
how
the
far
two,
each one from each other?
yeah, that's what I'm gonna pull up next. But when I look at those two stories, I'm like, who actually has more of an incentive to lie, right?
Of course, the Muslims.
Of course.
course.
So in
Yeah.
the Quran doesn't name Hagar. Abraham leaves baby Ishmael in a barren, uncultivated, identified as Mecca. When their water runs out, Hajar runs between Safa and Marwa, searching for help, and God brings forth a Zamzam well under Ishmael's feet. They stay there, and it becomes the foundation city of Mecca, right? So according to them, Mecca was a city already during Abraham's time, right? So let's keep going. So which one is more likely true? The Bible, from a historical standpoint, the Bible's version is more likely true. The Bible places Hagar and Ishmael in the wilderness of Paran, a real, well-attested location in the Sinai Peninsula area, consistent with where Ishmaelite tribes actually lived according to ancient records. That fits the geography, archaeology, and known tribal movements of the time. The Quranic Islamic version sends them to Mecca, a barren valley where Abraham and Ishmael supposedly built the Kaaba. There is no historical or archaeological evidence. Isn't this the pattern every time for pretty much everything they say? There's no evidence for any of that. No records of Mecca even existing in Abraham's time. Because, without
You're
the
scary.
Zamzam,
Can I tell you?
yeah.
They got Abraham's footprints at Mecca. Look it up, bro. It's like bronze or in silver, and it's like in this glass thing, and it's like surrounded by gold or whatever.
Bro,
And like
all of
people
their
walk around it.
evidence-
I've been there. I've seen it with my
all-
own eyes.
All of their evidence, like I was talking, because I remember, I think you were here the last time I was doing this with AI and asking it about evidence, right, for Islam. And
Yeah.
and so people, I put the shorts out the other day, and people are all like, they're like, yeah, we got a whole bunch of evidence from Muhammad in that time, and I'm like, okay, what do you have? And they're like, we got a sword, and we got a shoe, and we got a like, I don't know, a hat or something. And I'm like, does it have his name on it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, so how the hell do you know whose that is?
It's real bad, man. And you know what else? Look this up.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly there's a house that belonged to Muhammad in Saudi Arabia, and they demolished it.
Wow.
The Saudi government demolished it.
Why would they do that?
Because they knew it didn't belong to Muhammad, so to keep the lie going, they had to get rid of evidence.
They're like,
Yeah, I'm waiting for a Muslim to come up here and be like, yo, no, Muhammad, he's my great ancestor. Like, I know it's
Some
gonna come
people
up.
do that. Some
never
people
gonna
do
happen.
that.
So the thing that you guys need to know about Mecca is that supposedly it's like in the middle of the desert. There's no access to water at all. So there's no way that this would have had a city there. This would have been a main
Right.
hub. So it says here there's no records of Mecca existing in Abraham's time or for centuries afterward. The strong connection between Ishmael and Arabs, Mecca, first appears centuries after the Bible, starting with Josephus in the 1st century that then developed further in the Islamic tradition. The biblical, and even I think this Josephus one is like even not even like they're not even sure if it's actually Mecca or not. Hold on a second. How far was the travel? Is that what I'm thinking to say? How far was the travel?
From Safa and Marwa and Mecca, where the
Bro,
well
but this is like you said, this is what the Muslims do. They take the stories, they twist it to their
Beersheba.
own narrative, and that's it. So they have a profile of it. So
They did it with
Makes
everything, you
sense.
see, and it's always weird,
Yeah.
right? Like, how did Jesus not get crucified, and everybody thinks he did? Oh, it's because somebody else's
Yeah.
face was put on somebody else. Like that's
Yeah, it's
literally
crazy.
what like a little kid would say. Like it wasn't me, mommy. Like it was just somebody who looked like me. Like it couldn't get any worse.
Yeah, it's wild.
So here, century after Mecca appear. Okay, the biblical account is older, stays within known Levant Sinai region. That makes perfect sense, and doesn't require a major holy city to appear out of nowhere with zero trace. The Mecca story. Right? This is AI, dude, and you know AI always tries to give the balanced answer. The
Yeah.
Mecca-
They've been programmed now to do that. Yeah?
Mhm. The Mecca story looks like a later tradition linking an existing sacred site to Abraham for theological reasons. Neither has direct proof that Abraham existed as described, but if you're weighing which narrative is more grounded in actual history, the Bible's version lines up better with what we can verify. How far was the travel in both accounts? So Bible version very short. They were sent from near Beersheba into the desert of Beersheba. Then Ishmael settled in the wilderness of Paran. That's roughly 50 to 100 miles at most.
That's
Basically,
doable,
yeah, basically a few days walk in the same
right?
general region of southern Sinai. Hold on.
That's what I remember hearing too. The other one I heard is not even doable. Like it's something crazy.
Yeah. Because you guys got to think also how old Abraham was at the time. He was
He's
literally like
older than-
100. He was like
Yeah.
100 years old at this time, like dead ass. So here in the Quran Islamic tradition, the travel was extremely long. Abraham takes Hagar and baby Ishmael all the way from the Holy Land in Hebron, Beersheba down to Mecca. That's about 750
700.
miles straight lines over 1,200 kilometers through the
Oof.
Harash Desert. In ancient times, that journey would have taken weeks or months.
Yeah,
The
right.
Bible's version is a local short trip. The Quran one is a massive, difficult trek across Arabia for no reason.
That's
How
for me
old is-
enough right there to see that it's false.
How old is Abraham? Abraham was 86 when Ishmael was born. He was 100 when Isaac was born. He sent Hagar and Ishmael away when Isaac was weaned. Most scholars say Abraham was around 100 to 103 years old. So right, 100-year-old guy just decides to take a 2-month journey across the desert for no reason.
With just some water.
with no water, basically.
Not a bunch of camels and like lamb and stuff to like slaughter and eat. None of
Yeah.
it. No like escorts, no one to protect them.
No,
Like-
but they had dates though. They were good.
Apparently dates is magical. It's magical.
Like if this wasn't just Arabic propaganda, what other reason would Abraham have for going there?
Yeah,
You
that's
get what I'm
crazy.
saying?
Yeah.
It's just so obvious that this is just Arabic propaganda.
Yeah.
100%.
And then also in the Quran, you know, Ishmael was the son that was about to get sacrificed, when in the Bible it's Isaac.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I forgot.
Really?
Crazy.
They got the wrong kid in the Quran? That's interesting.
Yeah. They put it's Ishmael in the Quran.
Here,
Yeah, because like they were saying, Muhammad was illiterate, so he was getting these little details wrong, you know?
And the weird thing about it is that this would be one that I think he did it on purpose. I don't think he made
Yeah.
a mistake on this one. I think he knew that the Jews claimed to be from Isaac, and so he was like, well, we're from Ishmael.
Yeah.
Because you could do this. Like when you read the Bible, there's a lot of
Yeah.
characters that you read the story and they become like side characters, and then you kind of don't know where they go, right? And so it's easy to create a fan fiction off of that. It's the same
And he
thing
also
with,
had an
like, movies.
incentive. He also had an incentive because he says in the Quran that, you know, the Bible mentions me. So he could be like, oh, this is my mentioning, right? This could be his little mentioning of the Bible, which people try to use in the Muslim paradigm.
There was a guy who recently put, what's up, guys? XY, Jamal, Nightmare, what's up, guys?
God
Alpha.
bless.
Hey, what's
I
up?
know
what's
Jamal
up,
came up here to like share a
bless.
bunch of sources.
Tell us the sources, man.
No, I was gonna say. I was just gonna ask a question. Isn't it not clear that it was Ishmael that was sacrificed by Abraham?
Almost. The son that in Islam it's Ishmael
Yeah,
because
well,
of the Islamic traditions. The Quran isn't
Yeah,
like
the
explicit.
tradition.
Yeah.
yeah. But I do know that the earliest Muslims, like, they were split on it. So like some of them were like it was Ishmael. The others say it was Isaac. So pretty interesting stuff.
So look at this is something. I think it's Darren is his name. You guys know Darren?
Duran Dorsey.
That's that guy. He
Yeah.
pointed this out recently in one of his videos that he said in Quran 29:27, if I'm not mistaken. It says, "And we gave him Isaac and Jacob and placed his descendants prophethood in scripture."
Yes.
Not talking nothing about Ishmael. This is the Quran.
Yeah, and that verse Ishmael is not mentioned. It's crazy work.
You know, lately I've been getting a whole lot less Muslims coming up. I don't know why. I think they got tired.
Because
of
you
it.
know
about
too
you, bro.
much.
They got tired of
They're
You
it.
know
like, yo,
too
Scary got too much artillery now, bro. He's got all
Too much shubahat, bro.
Too much, bro. been like
you
2
should
days.
you should change your name to
Shubahat and
Shubahat.
belted.
Shuba
Too
hot
much
hour.
Shubahat and belted.
Shuba hot hour. That's
You know what I heard Malik saying today? He was like yelling at the people, and he was like, "You guys are rude to the Dawa people, and then when you have Shubahat, you come to the same Dawa people to get your questions answered."
Aw, that's
Why are they always getting that Shubahat? You know, it's like something they can't shake, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just so obvious. Like, I can't think of a worse religion, dude. Like, number one, it's clearly
I
made
know.
up, right? Number one, it's clearly made up. But
Yeah.
then, even if it wasn't, it's such a terrible belief system. Like, why would you want to believe? Even if, like I always say, even if it was real, I wouldn't believe it. I would be like, I don't care. I'm going to hell.
Facts. Me
Send
too.
me
Yeah, I'll
straight to
burn in
hell.
hell.
Send me straight to hell. I'm not gonna be this guy like weirdo trying to justify marrying kids and sex slavery and unaliving people because they don't believe
Wife
in that.
beating and
Wife
I mean,
beating,
Akhi, you're already
cousin
beheaded.
marriage.
in their context, you're already going to hell. You know, Allah
Gladly.
wrote it for you before
Well,
you
actually,
were even created.
I was just reading that Ibn Abbas and other early companions or early Muslims, they said that all Muslims are going to go to hell.
Oh yeah. That's in the Quran. In the Quran literally says there is none but shall like pass through it or some shit like that. Which is funny because in the Quran, Allah makes fun of the Jews for believing the same thing, that they're just going to spend a short time in hell. And then he says this, he ends up making the same, he's saying the same thing. So it's crazy.
I agree with you're saying that Islam is terrible and it makes no sense. But I will say on a flip side, like we talked about, these new red pill Andrew Tate guys that want to have a bunch of girlfriends and have an excuse for it, it's the perfect religion for them, bro.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
And that's what you realize when you're arguing with them, right? Because it gets to a point where it's like, dude, why are you arguing about this? And then you're like, oh, it's because you are already like this. And
You just want an excuse for it.
You just want to excuse it. You just want to say, yeah, well, God, this is in the Old Testament. What about your Bible? Like that's pretty much where they've gotten to.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Jamal.
I was just thinking that a lot of these Muslims, these Dawa guys, they're not even like really adhering to their religion. Like they transgress what's permitted in the religion. Like for instance, Atachi, she watches anime, which is haram. I think same as Korah as well. And some scholars say that they're not permitted to actually do Dawa online, right? It's not even permissible.
Yeah. I heard this.
And yeah, and so it's like it's only in the West they're doing they can do what they do, but if they were really under Sharia, right?
Exactly.
You know, they wouldn't be enjoying the things that they're enjoying with what they're doing right now in the West.
Agreed. They get a watered down version of Islam in America for sure.
Yeah, and they'd be screaming about like we need Sharia in the Western countries and stuff like that. You know.
I have a question for Jamal. So I don't watch anime. I hear about it, I don't watch it. Why? What's in it that would make it haram, you think?
Well, you can't. Well, Muhammad said there's like pictures are haram, right? And it's really, and it's animation, right? So they're sinning a lot
cartoons
because
are haram?
yeah, because it's excessive pictures. One after like 30 frames per second, right? It's a lot of pictures right there.
That is a lot of pictures, you're right.
And there's music in it too, so.
Okay, that's double haram.
and that's exactly the thing is like when you look at the things that they choose to make haram, they're like really innocent things, and the thing that they make halal is the craziest things you ever heard of.
Fact.
Exactly.
And you know, you guys, Scary said something the other day, which like my mind was blown because I always knew that Muhammad heard bells before, sometimes like before receiving revelation, but then he was like, instruments are haram, like it's from the shaitan, so how is he hearing bells? I'm like, wow, I never put those two together because yeah, what are we doing here? If it's from the devil, why was he hearing it before he got a revelation, huh?
Bro, when I was working at a suit store, my boss, he only played the Quran music, bro, and it used to drive me crazy because they couldn't listen to music, bro. I was literally losing my mind, like trying to sell suits over there, bro.
Yeah, you can't you
The
can't gro-
only
you
the
can't
only
groove to that, huh? You can't like
yo
move
Jamal,
your
the
body
only
to
question I have
that.
the only question I have about him is like why do they make dogs haram, bro?
Especially black dogs. Black dogs are to be unalived.
Like what did the dogs do like to make
What
them
did the
haram or
dogs do?
something?
When you look at it, it's just because Muhammad wasn't
Yeah.
a dog person and he was a cat person. That's literally how silly this religion is, dude.
The
For real.
religion
And
just
then
sounds like
he
whatever
says
Muhammad feels that day
Oh,
is
yeah,
what it
talking about
is.
well, yeah, talking about the guy
and
who
then
makes
he
jokes is toilet papers, bro.
Literally
and then he
everything.
said that
Mhm.
camels were made from Satan, but you can drink camel urine. It's pretty funny to me.
Look at this list of things, right? Pre-Islamic Arabian paganism, right? Here's a list of extensive beliefs and practices that in Islam with clear pre-existing parallels. Kaaba as a sacred shrine was a pagan temple with 360 idols rededicated to one god. Tawaf, the circumambulation of the Kaaba practiced before Islam. Kissing the black stone, ancient pagan veneration of sacred stones and meteorites. Running between Safa and Marwa was also a pre-Islamic ritual. The Hajj pilgrimage rites, many stations, Arafat, Muzdalifah, Mina, sacrifice and timing predate Islam. Belief in jinn, widespread, they inspired poets and caused illness. Allah as a deity, name existed considered a high god or a creator with three daughters, Alat, Al-Uzza, and Manat. The lunar calendar, sacred months, truces during holy months and pilgrimage and trade. Animal sacrifices, blood poured on stones, continued Islamic Qurbani. Jewish influence, strict monotheism and rejection of idols, Abrahamic prophetic lineage, dietary laws, many prophets, concept of chain of prophets and final revelation, stories from Jewish Midrash and Talmud, certain details in Adam, Abraham, and Joseph narratives. Christian, especially apocryphal, virgin birth of Jesus, Jesus speaking as an infant in the cradle, Jesus making clay birds come to life, Mary and Jesus in the desert under a palm tree miracle, view that Jesus was not actually crucified, paralyzed the Gnostic and docetic ideas. Muhammad retreating to a cave for meditation resembles Christian monastic asceticism. Initial prayer direction towards Jerusalem. Zoroastrian and Persian influence. Detailed description of paradise with physical rewards, like the 72 virgins. Concept of Houthis, beautiful companions in paradise. Word Firdaus for paradise. What is that? Elements of final judgment and eschatology. Though
That means like their heaven.
their heaven. Okay.
You mean Jannatul Firdaus?
Other late antique influences. Dual Carnane. Right. We saw this one already before. Parallels legends of Alexander the Great. Jesus not dying on the cross, and some legal or cosmological ideas, possibly from the Sabians or other regional groups.
You know what you didn't mention, which I'm surprised from the Zoroastrian faith? They had a prophet or whatever, like a messenger called Pahlavi, who did a night journey and spoke to God, and he was given 5 prayers.
Let me see.
Same story as Muhammad. He did a night journey.
Zoroastrians.
Pahlavi. Do Pahlavi.
Pahlavi night journey. Apparently there was I also heard there was a Christian like church father that also had a scheduled prayer thing too as well, that I heard that he probably got that from too.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, he plagiarized from multiple sources. He's like, I'll take this, a little bit of that, a little dash of that.
The Zoroastrian text you're referring to is the Arda Viraf Namag, a Pahlavi book. It tells the story of a righteous man named Arda. He drinks narcotic mixture.
Oh, Arda.
And falls into a deep trance for 7 days, and his soul journeys to the afterlife, guided by the angel Sraosha. He crosses the Shinavat bridge, visits heaven and hell, meets Ahura, sees rewards for good and punishment. Thank you for subscribing. And then returns to the people that he witnessed. Similarities people point out in Islamic mirage. A nighttime spiritual journey to heaven and hell, guided by an angel, meeting God and receiving religious instructions, observing paradise and hell. Let me see. You said he received prayers, right? Oh,
The
here we
5
go.
daily prayers, yeah.
Yeah, it's right here. Hold on. I just got it here. It's part of a broader pattern of heavenly ancient stories that existed across many cultures: Jewish, Christian, Gnostic, Zoroastrian. The Mirage shares some motifs with them, but the Islamic version, oh, it says it's distinct because of the 5 daily prayers. I don't know where it's, yeah, the 5 daily prayers, it looks like saying is distinct from the.
One of my favorite thefts of Muhammad is the story of the ants talking in the Quran. He got that from a Jewish bedtime story.
Okay.
With the ants and the Solomon.
Oh, right. Oh,
Yeah.
ants.
The ant was like, "Oh, hide yourselves. Solomon might squash us."
Right, the ant literally said that. And he knew Solomon. Look,
It's
5
pretty
daily
funny.
prayers.
You
Yeah,
know
you're
they
right. It
got
says right here. So
they
Zoroastrians
got
had fixed 5 daily prayers tied to the sun's position, very similar to the 5 Salat times.
they got a lot of the stories from a many Jewish guy who called I found by the way I found his name from the other day.
Who are you talking about?
His name Ka'ab al-Ahbar. That was his name.
Say it again.
He was Ka'ab al-Ahbar.
K-A-A-B.
K-A-A-B and then Al and then A-K-H-B-A-R.
Oh, yeah, they got a lot of stuff from the Zoroastrians. They got, it says they 5 daily prayers from Zoroastrians. Bridge over hell is from the Zoroastrians. Weighing of deeds. Detailed heaven and hell descriptions. Ritual washing before prayer. Head covering during prayer. Resurrection and final judgment. Let me see who's this guy. Kabal Abar, also spelled, was a Yemeni Jewish rabbi who converted to Islam during Caliph Umar's reign. He became one of the main early sources of Israeliyat, Jewish stories, legends, and interpretations that entered the Islamic tradition. So is this admitting that this was added after Muhammad?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Real.
He was very close to Umar, traveled with him to Jerusalem, and advised him on where to build the mosque, which later became the site of the Dome of the Rock. Oh, that's interesting.
You know, scary.
Mm.
Yeah, I just want to say, I love how you're pointing out the obvious. You said lie after lie, and you like Abraham at 100 years old, traveling 750 miles through the desert to Mecca, which didn't even exist until hundreds of years later. But to further that point, because what Ishmael was supposedly, not Isaac, it was the one that was almost sacrificed in Mecca, but so they didn't have no validity to the historic, site, religious site of Ishmael in the Temple Mount. So then why did Muhammad in 621 not fly in a 2-winged animal? It was a white animal, like smaller than a horse, bigger than a donkey, but it could jump like the Incredible Hulk, apparently, because that's how it got there. It jumped from Mecca to the farthest mosque, which there were no mosques in Jerusalem because it was under Byzantine Christian rule. I mean, it's lie after lie. So then why did Muhammad ascend from the Temple Mount area if it had no significance? Because they built the Dome of the Rock on it after the fact. It's just unbelievable, man. I love how you
And
pointed out,
also,
brother. I just had to say that.
Yeah.
another fun fact about him: he never met Muhammad. So this guy that built the mosque with Omar, he never met Muhammad in his life. Like he was the
That's what I always.
he was the sort of companion of him, but he was never meeting him. So
Yeah, because it says this was during Umar's time. But yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to tell them last time was Abu Nuri. Oh, Abu Nuri says he's going to come up and embarrass us. Please do, Abu Nuri.
Come up.
Please do. Because that's the thing that I always say to them is like, if there was no significance in Jerusalem, why did you guys pray in that direction for no reason?
Correct.
Right? It's
to
like
bring
literally.
in Jews like this guy who converted to Islam, basically.
No archaeological evidence, no historical evidence, over and over and over again. You pointed out so well. Just
We're scared. He's Abu Nuri is scared, bro. He doesn't want to debate.
I would love to hear from Abu, because Abu Nuri's he's actually educated like in his religion. So I would love to hear what an educated Muslim says about the archaeological historical proof.
He's not educated
He said, "Oh,
yeah, come on up and
in any sense. He's illiterate.
he said, no, I'm gonna leave you at 18 viewers. That's fine. The beautiful
He's
thing about it is
illiterate,
that
bro.
these things get views. Like later on my YouTube, it ends up getting thousands of views, and then I make shorts out of it, get thousands of views. So that's fine if you don't want to show us the irrefutable evidence for Muhammad and Mecca's existence, then that's
right. That alone, I want to hear him what he says about
Wait,
it.
but
Scary.
you know what did
200 years after Abraham. So I mean, so
Hey, this is
get views though? When Logic folded him up like a napkin.
I wanted to watch that.
You seen the
whole
debate?
thing. I didn't see it. It was too
Yo.
long.
I didn't see that yet either.
Scary. If
I'm
you
looking it
watch
up tonight.
anything, it
What
has
is it
to be
about?
that clown show, okay?
What are they arguing about?
Okay, so Abu Nuri's I guess he's trying to say we believe in polytheism, right?
Yeah.
But nowhere in the Bible says that we have to like worship any god other than Yahweh. So already he's dumb for posing this argument. But you gotta watch it, man. The way Logic destroys this kid is hilarious.
It's just
And
the
it got
debates are
views.
so long that I just like, man,
I know.
it's hard to track.
But
And
it's
especially for me, 'cause-
funny.
yeah, for me it's especially hard because I'm like, man, at the end of the day, I'm not a Christian or a Muslim, so I could care less who wins. But I probably should watch it because it did seem like it was interesting.
I agree,
Where'd you
man.
get
He
the
needs
image
like a
from?
highlight
This is
of the debate.
funny.
So what-
Reverse engineering Islam.
So here, this is the part. Like, let's see what it says about this. I wanted to read more about this last time. There is virtually no direct archaeological evidence for Muhammad from his own lifetime. I mean, just that statement alone is crazy, right? Like, I could understand like Jesus. You know, he's further away, but even he has evidence for his existence. 0. No inscriptions, no coins, no buildings, no artifacts from Mecca or Medina mention him or even confirm a major religious movement there at the time. The Hijaz region was largely non-literate and left almost no written records. Earliest material starts appearing around 50 to 60 years after his death. The first coins mentioning Muhammad is the messenger of God appears around 685 to 687 CE. The Dome of the Rock inscription in Jerusalem, 691, mentions him. Some dated Arabic rock inscriptions with his name begin around the 7th century. Yeah, the archaeology confirms the existence of a movement that followed a man named Muhammad shortly after 632, but it does not give us direct proof from the time that he was alive. The evidence for him almost entirely textual, the Quran itself, and early non-Muslim references from the 630s. No physical objects from his era. So, I don't know. To me, it's kind of strange, especially for people who go around saying like, "Oh, can you prove your stuff? Prove the crucifixion, prove the Bible, prove your religion," and then they're just as bad, basically.
Yeah. I believe Muhammad was a real historical figure. Based on like the Hadiths, I know that it came like 200 years later, but based on the criterion of embarrassment, it's like, yeah, this.
But that's the thing is that when I read
It's probably some.
When I read their stuff, it doesn't look like they get embarrassed by anything, because they literally say the craziest things in their hadiths. Like, and the part, like I said, that I really don't jive with is even if he did exist, I kind of have to lean to maybe he probably did exist, but at the same time, I think to myself, it's clear that people were using his name to make shit up at the same time, right? With the 600 different stories. Here, I'm gonna pull that up also.
It's funny to me because if you read about the other guy that I mentioned,
Muhammad being
the
under black
Muslims actually
magic
took
and
a lot
all this
a lot of stories like from the
things to
Talmud.
something that he thought was his wives, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know, man. That seems pretty.
Look at this. Scholars examined hundreds of thousands of hadith narration. Here's the breakdown. Imam Bukhari, the most famous collector, reportedly gathered and examined around 600,000 narrations. Out of those, he only accepted 7,500, including repetitions. For Sahih Bukhari, without counting repeated narrations, it drops to roughly 2,600. Imam Muslim examined around 300,000 and kept about 7,000 in his collection. Across all early collections, scholars sifted through hundreds of thousands of reports in total. So it's like when you hear these guys say, oh, there's all these weak narrations, right? That's my question, is like, why was there so many?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think about that, and I asked AI that question too. Like, why were there so many narrations? So yeah, it's obvious that there's some of them, or most of them, are probably made up. But I do think there was like some of them that had some kernel of truth to.
Yeah, but like what I'm just saying is that there's nothing stopping somebody at that time from just making some of this stuff up, right? What would be stopping them from doing this? And you can clearly see that there was a desire to make a story up. See right here. This
like scholars, I think it's pretty much like unanimous that Muhammad was a real historical figure. You had like those outliers, like what's his name, Robert Spencer. He thinks that he wasn't a real historical figure, but I don't know. I think he most likely did exist.
So one thing he says here, a lot were simply made up. People created hadiths for different reasons: to support their political side, to promote good behavior even if the story was fake, and to gain fame as a hadith narrator, or to push their sex belief. That's clearly what they were doing. Let me see. Why is the hadith science not accepted in Western scholarship? Western scholars don't fully accept traditional hadith science for these core reasons. Very late collections. The major hadith books, Bukhari, Muslim, were compiled 200 to 250 years after Muhammad died. That's a long time for stories to change or be invented. Exactly. It's not focused, not content focused. Traditional hadith science mostly checks the chain of narrators, the isnad. Western historians say this is weak because perfect-looking chains can easily be fabricated. See? They argue you must also heavily study the actual content, the matin, for contradictions and anachronisms. Mass fabrication. There was a widespread fabrication of hadith for political, sectarian, and legal reasons. Yeah, I mean, this is most easily seen between, I didn't know this, but again, I found out recently the Shias and the Sunnis have a completely different story of Muhammad. And they have their own hadiths with completely different things in them. And legal reasons. Even early Muslim scholars admitted this was a huge problem. Lack of early written evidence. There are almost no written records from Muhammad's lifetime or the first 100 years. The system relies almost entirely on oral transmission for generation. Circulatory and bias. The evaluation of narrators' trustworthiness often feels subjective or influenced by theology rather than strict historical standards. In short, the traditional hadith science works well within Islamic theology, but Western historians use a stricter historical critical method and demands earlier independent evidence, which hadith generally cannot provide.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
And like I said, okay, you get this perfectly preserved book. What do you get out of it? Touching little kids, slaves, going to war with people who don't believe you want. That's the prize that you get from perfect preservation.
So I think the main reason why Muhammad was brought up as like this historical figure is because at the like 7th century Saudi Arabia, like you had a lot of tribalism, and like the Arabs wanted to unite like as once, basically. So what you had there is like a bunch of tribal people who were united by one religion. That's what they try to do, like with the Muhammad story and stuff like that, more than like I think the actual belief in the Quran, you know.
Oh, my thing's acting up. Yeah, that's what it basically means, right? It's unification, right? That's what Tawhid is. Look, hold on. What is the literal definition of Tawhid? How do you actually spell Tawhid? Is it EED or ID?
EED, I think. Well, I want to talk to like the Grace woman that you had here actually, because if she grew up in Sheikh Jarrah, I actually have a lot to talk to her about.
Mm-hmm. Here, so this is why do you get this system of bringing different religions into one, right? It says right here. So here, Tawhid, to make something one, right? That's what Tawhid means, to make something one, to unify, break down. It comes from the Arabic root, whatever this is, wahid, means one. Tawhid is the verbal noun. It means the act of making one or the act of affirming oneness. So literally, Tawhid means oneness or unification. In the Islamic context, it refers to the absolute oneness of Allah and that He is the one in essence and ownership and worship. So it's a unification process, and that's literally what you see. That's exactly what the Quran narrative is. But I always love when we do these topics right here, like when we try to actually go into like the deep, like, you know, breakdown of how Islam got started. Muslims don't want to talk about this, but I guarantee you that if I put up the Trinity or something, they'll be like, yeah, how many gods died on the cross?
They don't like facts, bro.
They really don't.
They don't.
Because how do they explain this away, right? They just say what? What do they say usually? Like, they're like, yeah, brother, because, you know, because it actually happened, so of course other cultures would have written it before us. But it's like, no, I think you guys just copied people. I think that's the more logical explanation.
Right down to their eschatology just being a negative image of Christian eschatology.
Yep.
Really is.
Yeah, there's a on the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I thought that was interesting. What's all around the Al-Aqsa Mosque? Hold on. What do the inscriptions around Al-Aqsa Mosque say? Here it says, the outer arcade inscriptions, mostly the basic Islamic declaration of faith. There is no God but God. He is one. He has no partner. Muhammad is the servant of God and his messenger. Okay, here we go. In the inner arcade inscriptions, the most important part, there are longer, more theological. They strongly affirm God has no son. Imagine you go to a building and it says that. Like God has no son. Jesus is only a messenger of God. Do not say three. Like, what a weird. Like, that's all it was. It was just like an anti-Christian, anti-Jewish Arabic propaganda system.
I gotta say, for anti-Jews, anti-Christians, you know, they really took a lot of things from Christianity and Judaism.
Mm-hmm. What language is the Quran in heaven? That's my favorite. Thank you, Georgiana. Look at this. Most Muslims believe the Quran in heaven is in Arabic.
No shit.
I can't get over that, dude. The Quran itself says it was revealed in plain Arabic language, and the standard belief is that the version written in the preserved tablet in the heavenly copy is also in Arabic.
There wasn't any heaven before the 7th century.
Right. That's what I'm saying, dude. Let me see this. Why would you have to do 5 daily prayers in Arabic? It says you don't have to pray in Arabic. However, the vast majority of Muslims do it in Arabic for these reasons. The Quran commands prayer, and Prophet Muhammad taught prayer in Arabic. So the following example, Sunnah means praying in Arabic. The 5 daily prayers have fixed parts like Surah Al-Fatha, and other short surahs which were revealed in Arabic. Most scholars say you must recite these specific parts in Arabic for the prayer to be valid. And you're going to tell me that that's not Arabic propaganda. Most scholars say you must recite these in Arabic.
I told you they try to like make Arabia one basically. That's why you got Islam created to have a consensus around all of the tribal people there. And Muhammad doesn't hide it either, you know. I think he said that he's there to unite the tribes basically. You know. That was basically the goal, to like basically take over Arabia.
Thank you, Danny. Religion out of it, like.
Then now it says the names of people who donated you.
Marrying cousins, marrying minors, wars, slavery, concubines.
What is your search history?
Yeah. It says right here, you're half right. Islam did grow out of a 7th century Arabian culture, so it naturally kept or adapted many local customs. It didn't just take everything and make a religion out of it. Some things it kept, some things it reformed, and some things radically changed. Here's a quick breakdown of your list. Growing a beard, mostly pre-Islamic Arab custom. Islam kept it and turned it into a recommended sunnah. You see? Marrying cousins, common in pre-Islamic Arabia and in many ancient societies. Islam kept it fully legal. Marrying minors. There's very little clear evidence it was normal in Arabia before Islam. This one is debated heavily. Oh, that would be interesting. Muhammad started it. That's crazy.
That's crazy, man. I don't know how anyone.
It was,
can
and
really-
it's funny because Muslims always love to say it was common during that time, you know.
I thought this one was going to be for
That's
sure
wild,
a
man.
common thing, but now they're making it sound like it's heavily debated. That's weird.
How
Wars
can
and-
anyone marry their first cousin, man? That's just gross.
Wars and tribal fighting, very common before Islam restricted it heavily. No more tribal raids for loot, only specific types of fighting allowed under strict rules. Yeah, because everybody became Muslim under force. Slavery and concubines, fully pre-Islamic. Islam did not ban slavery. It regulated it, made freeing slaves a good deed, and improved conditions in some ways, but it kept the institution.
You could actually use that as a point. The fact that it says there that it was debated during the time that there was a higher marriage to minors. You know, you could actually use
I
it.
kind of want to talk about that point. Let me see. Can you expound on this point? Because that would be interesting to know why that's highly debated. I could have sworn that would have been one of the easier ones to prove. Let's see what it says.
Learn something every single day.
Yep. And next, I want to look up like what are the actual statistics with like, you know, because you know how they always say you can't not to hurt a minor when you it's so weird having these conversations. But I want to look up if that's actually possible. All the stuff they say, like proving that they don't get hurt. All right, here's the honest breakdown of that point. The claim that marrying very young girls, prepubescent or right at puberty, was
Have you?
widespread. What'd you say, Jamal? Or who said? Anyway, okay.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Jamal got a delay. Go ahead, Jamal.
Baghdad. It's like making the rounds.
Say it again.
Have you heard about the prophecy about Baghdad that the Quran makes? Or sorry,
Jamal, I think you got bad reception right now. You're getting, it's like delayed and cutting out. I can't even make out what you're saying. Let me just read this real quick. So here's the claim is that marrying very young girls, prepubescent, was widespread normal Arabian custom in the time before Islam is heavily debated, mainly because we have surprising little solid evidence for it. That's very interesting. So they're lying about that. That's crazy.
Like, I think like we thought to believe that during that time it was like a common thing, but yeah.
Yeah, and I always just took it for granted too, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know why would we assume that that's true? Lack of pre-Islamic sources. Pre-Islamic Arabia left almost no written records. We don't have poetry, inscriptions, or accounts from that time that clearly describe fathers regularly marrying off 6 to 9-year-old daughters. The main source we have from that come from after Islam, the Hadith and Islamic stories. Wikipedia and general histories. When you read about the marriage in pre-Islamic Arabia, they talk about bride price, mahr, marriage by agreement, marriage by capture, inheritance of widows, but they rarely mention age. There's no strong description of child marriage as a standard practice. The Aisha factor. The main evidence that people point to for young marriage in Arabia is Hadith saying Aisha was 6 and betrothal at 9. Consummation at 9. Critics argue that this is circular, using Islamic sources to prove this was normal before Islam. Wow. Dude, that's crazy. Aisha is the only source for child marriage. This is wild. Scholarly split. Some say young betrothals contracting marriage early did exist and consummation happened at or around puberty. The legal concept of option of puberty, the girl could accept or reject the marriage when she matured, is used as the evidence that such contracts happen. Others, especially academic circles, argue that there's very little independent evidence outside the Aisha narration that very young marriage was common in the Hijaz. Wow. Now let's talk about this. So, Muslims claim that, how can we word this? Because this is nasty. Muslims claim that a man like Muhammad would not have physically hurt Aisha during consummation. What are the relevant, what we call it, scientific or biological? Biological facts surrounding this claim to prove or disprove it. Let's see if that would have been possible. Here's the direct biological reality. A 9-year-old's body is generally not biologically ready for penetrative sex with an adult man. Here's why. Before puberty, a young girl's vagina is very small, typically 4 to 6 centimeters deep and narrow. An adult man's erect peen is averages 12 to 14. Wow. So that's like 3 times the size of the little girl's. That's insanity. And much thicker. The penis.
This is from Satan. Like, there's no way. This is disgusting.
It's disgusting, bro.
Literally.
Totally.
Can we like
Vile, man.
keep on exploring on what happened like before Arabia and not like talk about
Hold on, no, because this needs to be I know, but the reason we have to do this is because this is where they come, like, they won't. They at first they don't want to admit it, but then we show them the Quran says you could do it, and then they say, okay, but as long as you don't hurt them, right? But look what it says. The size difference alone makes penetration physically difficult and highly likely to cause tearing, lacerations, and severe pain. Lack of
Like I said,
estrogen.
vile.
Lack of estrogen. At 9, most girls have not gone through puberty without significant estrogen. The tissue is thin, fragile, and not elastic. It tears easily and doesn't lubricate naturally. Pelvic development. The pelvis is narrow and underdeveloped. That increases the risk of serious injury during intercourse. Medical facts that show this activity at this age frequently causes tearing and bleeding, high risk of infection, long-term complications like fistulas, holes between the vagina and the bladder. That's crazy. And then look at this, the counterclaim, the Muslim counterclaim. Aisha had reached puberty at 9, which is extremely rare even today, and unlikely in 7th century Arabia, when average monarchy was around 13 to 14 years old. That's another thing that they always say, right?
Always, yep, always.
They say,
She's
during that time, people, they were super menstruators. Like they went through early puberty. The other claim is that Muhammad was gentle, so he wouldn't have caused injury. Biologically, even with extreme gentleness, the physical mismatch in size and tissue maturity makes significant pain and an injury very difficult to avoid. This remains one of the most contested topics. Okay, hold on a second. How can we know that puberty... No, wait. So did puberty start earlier or later than in modern times? So did puberty in 7th century Arabia start earlier or later than modern times? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this nonsense. Puberty started later in 7th century than it does today.
wow.
They just lie about everything. They literally say the opposite. Don't they say this all the time? Oh, back then,
Oh, yeah.
they matured faster because
She was
of
like a
whatever.
16-year-old girl. She was like a 16-year-old girl. Yep.
Here's the clear picture based on historical data. Historical average in classical, medieval, and ancient times, including Roman and early Islamic periods, the average age of monarchy, first period, was around 13 to 14 years old, typically ranging from 12 to 15. The modern average in developed countries today, the average is about 11 to 12. And it's been slowly dropped over the past 150 years due to better nutrition, higher body fat, and other environmental factors. Key points. There is no strong evidence that puberty began significantly earlier in the 7th century Arabia than in other pre-modern societies. Claims that girls commonly started 9 to 11 due to hot climate are popular among some apologists but lacks solid historical support. Hot climates do not reliably cause early puberty. In fact, poor nutrition, harsh living conditions common in 7th century Arabia tend to delay puberty, not speed it up. Reliable historical studies show that the secular trend of early puberty is a modern phenomenon. It started dropping noticeably in the 19th and 20th centuries with improving living standards. Bottom line, a 9-year-old girl reaching full puberty in 7th century Arabia would have been highly unusual, not normal. The biological reality has not changed much in favor of early readiness. If anything, the opposite is true when comparing pre-modern to modern times. So lying.
Pretty much.
What about the mental? What are they? The second thing they say that they do like a mental test. What do they say?
Like shit, like they're mentally ready for that.
Yeah, they also they also claim that they are able to assess her mental maturity. Is this objective or subjective? Let's see. She's mentally ready, right?
Yeah.
But then her silence is her consent.
Wish Abu Nori came up. You'd have a lot of good info for him to explain.
Right.
Right.
Look at this. Look at this. It's almost entirely subjective. Isn't this what we always tell them? It's entirely subjective. Here's a straight answer. Mental psychological maturity is not something you can objectively measure like a height or age. Modern psychology considers it subjective because it depends on cultural expectations at the time, personal observation, and what behaviors people interpret as mature. The Muslim claim Muslims usually argue Aisha was mentally mature at 9 based on she narrated complex hadith and debated scholars later in life. She showed intelligence, memory, and religious understanding. She participated in battles like the Battle of the Camel and managed households. These are all observations made after she grew up. They are looking backwards and saying she turned out very intelligent, therefore saying she must have been mentally ready at 9. The biological and scientific reality. The part of the brain responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and long-term thinking, the prefrontal cortex, is not fully developed at the age 9, not even close. Cognitive abilities, memory, learning can develop early, but emotional and psychosocial maturity usually lags significantly behind. Asserting a 9-year-old's mental maturity for marriage and sex is inherently subjective. There is no universal test or biomarker for it. Yeah. What else should we look up today, guys?
I mean, even if she was a savant or some sort of prodigy as a child, it doesn't. It's just a 9-year-old girl, man. Or 6 years old to start with, but 9-year-old. I mean, you just pick any 9-year-old anywhere, and how they can think that's okay is just. And it sounds like you said, Scary. It started with Muhammad and went from there.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. I get a lot of fodder. So thank you for covering all that. It's gonna be fun.
Look up the sun setting story. That's the Dhul Qarnayn.
Oh, you went into that in detail a couple weeks ago, and I get all that. Yeah, you really did a good job with it. I'm talking about the Alexander the Great story, right? Yep.
Story in the Quran. Yeah, I just basically try to demystify this whole thing, bro, because I feel like Muslims just have this like fairy tale story in their head. It's like clearly, obviously, it's so easy to see like the human. You get what I'm saying? Like it's just clearly something man-made. What about the sun setting story in the Quran? Is it more likely divine inspiration or a retelling of a known story?
Yeah, exactly. Use option B.
Right. I should probably change divine inspiration because that's not fair.
Yeah, we got Ahmed.
It's definitely going to say no to that. Is it more likely? Is it more likely? How can I put it so it's not? Is it more likely from Muhammad or a retelling of a known story? There we go. That's better.
Whatever, you got someone named Ahmed in the comments.
Ahmed is there. Worshipping the 3 demons is not man-made. Is he talking about the crane birds? The crane goddesses. Oh yeah, the other thing is the moon thing. I still haven't gotten a full story from a Muslim where the moon thing is that an official Muslim thing or no? The crescent thing.
The moon splitting? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
the crescent moon symbol. Or is that just like what we assign to them? The specific detail in Quran 1886, Dhul Qarnayn reaching the setting place of the sun and finding it setting in a murky spring is not an original idea from Muhammad. It comes from pre-Islamic legendary traditions about Alexander the Great. Dhul Qarnayn is widely believed to represent. This motif appears in the Syriac Alexander legend, a Christian text from mid-6th century. Some scholars now date core parts even earlier. In that legend, Alexander travels to the ends of the earth and encounters the sun setting in a fetid, a dark body of water, very similar imagery. Even stronger evidence, pre-Islamic Arabic poetry from before Muhammad already mentions a figure called Dhul Qarnayn or similar king reaching where the sun sets into a dark, fetid ocean spring. This shows the story was already circulating among Arabs in the region. Early Muslim scholars like Ibn Abbas and al-Tabari generally understood this verse quite literally. No way. No way. Where is this? Where we need this? We need this. Because they always say, oh, it's not literal. But it says Ibn Abbas and al-Tabari understood it literally. That the sun sets into a spring of black mud. Oh my God. We might have to do this episode over.
It was adopted in the 15th century by the Ottomans. Just check it.
Yes, it says the it only appeared that way explanation became popular much later after Muhammad or after Muslims adopted Greek astronomy. Wow. Hold on a second. We need to pull up the sources for this.
How can we be surprised, bro? No.
Right. It just gets worse.
Worse and worse, man. Just,
hold on. Can you give me
this is so good.
sources for this? Let's see what it comes up with. There's a hadith where Muhammad takes it literally too. Yeah, there is. There is a hadith. Muhammad literally asks a guy, "Do you know where the sun sets?" And he's like, "No, man, only you know because you're the messenger of Allah." And then he's like, "Yeah, it sets in a muddy pool or whatever the hell." So it says here, early interpretation: the sun sets in black mud. Ibn Abbas. So, and this is the thing that's funny is that they're literally saying, "Come on, bro, do you really think they used to believe that? That's stupid, bro. Come on, like come on, like seriously." And they did. They did believe that. As stupid as it sounds, they did believe that. So early interpretation, sun sets in black mud. Ibn Abbas, 687 CE. Multiple reports in Tafsir al-Tabari say he understood it literally. Now what? Now what? Correct. Look, he even says he corrected Muawiyah's recitation and said the sun sets in black mud, or a muddy spring in which the sun sets. Several chains through Ikrimah said Ibn Jubayr and others confirmed this. It's unbelievable. Al-Tabari in his famous Jamal Bayan Tafsir collects many
Scary hours, my brother.
Are you hearing this? Live yours. Are you hearing this? Live yours.
Scary hours. I just came in, my bro, man. I just came in. Chat to me.
Bro, did you know that? Did you know that Ibn Abbas and Al-Tabari said that the verse about the sun setting in mud, they said that was literal?
That was legit.
Of course, bro. Come on, man. What do you mean? What do you mean?
This guy says,
let me bring. What's the verse? What's the verse?
He didn't even process what I said to him yet, brother.
What's the verse? What's the verse? Bring the verse. Bring the verse.
Here, look. Hold on. It's 1880.
Today, I told you every day I come. Scary hours. What do? I teach you. Today's the day.
I teach you.
Thank you for teaching me, brother. Thank you for teaching me.
It's okay. Anytime.
Alhamdulillah, brother.
Anytime.
You missed a lot, brother. You should have got the last half hour.
I know, man. No, you know what it is? Obviously, I was in another live of man worshippers, and obviously, I just had to tell them the truth. You know, I like giving the man worshippers the truth.
Why don't you recap some of that, Scary? Really good.
No. I just want to get through this real quick because I want to get his opinion on this. So here in Quran chapter 18, it brings up this story. It says, they ask you, O Muhammad, about Dhul Qarnayn. So somebody was asking Muhammad about Dhul Qarnayn. They say it's actually the disbelievers of Medina. I think it was the Jews. They ask you about Dhul Qarnayn. Say, I will recite to you about him a report. Indeed, we established upon him the earth, and we gave him for everything a way, a means. So he followed a way, and until he reached the setting of the sun. And when he found it setting in a body of dark water, and he found it near a people. We, Allah, said, O Dhul Qarnayn, either you punish them or else adopt among them a way of goodness. So here it says that Dhul Qarnayn walked until he reached the setting of the sun, which was in a setting in a body of dark water. What do you think about that, Liv yours? Liv yours is flabbergasted right now.
Okay. No.
Downloading. Wait, it's downloading.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, I don't know about that verse.
You don't know about this?
I'm taking it. I would take it as literal as well.
You take it literal? The sun sets in
Yes,
the
of
sun
course.
sets in water?
It's an argument, innit? I need to research about it. But I'll say I'll take
Yes,
it.
okay.
I'll take it literal.
That's good
Show,
because
show.
Ibn Abbas and others also took it literal, and
Let me
Al-Tabari.
see what Ibn Abbas said.
It says here, Ibn Abbas, multiple reports in Tafsir Al-Tabari says that he understood it literally. He corrected Mawawi's recitation and said the sun sets in black mud, or a muddy spring in which the sun sets. Several chains through Ikrimah, said Ibn Jubayr, and others confirm this.
Okay, let's go down.
And the other one's Al-Tabari. In his famous Jami al-Bayan, Tafsir al-Tabari, he collects many early narrations and leans toward the view that the sun sets into a hot spring and that contains black mud. He does not treat it as an optical illusion.
Okay. So it's literal then.
It's literal, according to Tabari and
so where does the sun set? Where does the sun set? If you guys are saying that it's not literal, where does the sun set?
Where does the sun set? It doesn't actually set.
Oh, so what happens? It just
It's the
goes away.
rotation. It's the rotation of the Earth, basically, what you're seeing. So there is the rotation of the Earth. Yeah,
but the sun is
obviously.
The sun is going down. So does that mean the
No,
what do you
the
call
Earth
it?
just rotate, and then like.
Okay, what would you say?
What
Would
it
you
means
say?
is that
Would you say the
so
Earth is round or would you say it's flat?
obviously round.
Okay.
How do you explain gravity? Can you tell me? It was a flat disk. Like every like you would just have to be concentrated in the center, because the sides would have had like a lot of that you would have to be pushed into the middle, you know.
Okay, but that's exactly my point. So how are you saying that it rotates? So the sun is going down. It's literally
What do
going
you mean?
down. It's going
So,
down.
bro,
It's not
wait.
going.
So
It's not
Muslims are
going.
flat
It's not going
earthers.
up. It's not going
Muslims are
up.
flat
It's not
earthers
going.
as well.
Would you
Is
say?
that where we're going now?
Live
Wait,
Yours
how do
is
you explain?
literally, bro, guys, Live Yours is literally trying to explain this to you right now.
No, listen. I'm just trying to hear your point. Where
I
does
wanna
the sun
understand
set?
one
Where
second.
does
How
it
do you
set?
explain?
There's no way that you actually
Scientifically.
tell me that you believe that the sun sets in a pool of water, dude.
Wait, so the Earth.
I told you
Just
it's
to
an
be clear,
argument
wait, the
that
Earth
I have
is
to
flat.
research.
One
I have to
second.
research about this.
So the Earth is flat, the Moon is round, the Sun is round. You know, if you zoom into stars, they're also round, but only
No,
Earth
what
is
I'm
like
saying
a
to you,
dome
you're not
actually.
understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying the sun, when we look at when the sun sets, is going down, right? It's going down.
Because that's what what are you doing?
Wow.
I'm asking you a question.
So look, here's why.
Is this what he teaches you, Scary? Is this what he say he teaches you every night?
I'm learning right now. I'm learning this.
No. Right now, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I said I don't know about this. But I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
When the sun sets, it's visually when we look at it, it's basically going down, right?
Yeah.
It's setting. It's going down. So where does it go down to?
Now, are you legitimately asking that question, or are you saying that metaphorically, bro? Like, are you asking?
No,
that
I'm
question?
asking. I'm asking.
Legit asking. Like,
I'm
Where
asking.
does
I'm
it go?
asking.
It
It's not a
doesn't go,
rhetorical
bro.
question. I'm
Earth
asking you.
rotate. You know, Earth rotation. You know, so basically Earth is like tilting. You know, and when it rotates, you know,
Yeah,
what's
brother,
happening is
like I don't know. How can I want to try to show you.
no, I can tell him. Look at. Go to your kitchen. Look at the light, and turn around, and then turn back around. That's what's happening to the Earth. Yeah, you see the light, and then you don't see the light, and then you see the light.
Listen.
Look, this is the sun,
Listen.
right? Look, hold on a second. This is the sun right here, right? And then this is the Earth, okay? And you're on it. You're right here.
Yeah, and the Earth is rotating.
So when the Earth is rotating like this,
okay.
Right, from your point of view, it looks like it's going down, but it's not. It's just the Earth's just rotating.
nah, but that's actually crazy.
Yeah, obviously it's an argument. It's an argument. So you have to research. Obviously, you have to research about this.
So let's read something. So here's why. Here, let's read this. So here's why people in the 7th century genuinely believe this. People back then had a completely different picture of the universe than we do today. They believed the Earth was flat, like a big disc. The sky was like a dome or solid ceiling over it. Every night, the sun physically went down into the ocean or a spring at the western edge of the world, traveled through the underworld, and came back up in the east the next morning. This wasn't some crazy idea. It was the normal worldview across the entire ancient Near East for thousands of years. Babylonians, Egyptians, early Jews, etc. In Arabia specifically, they saw the sun disappear into the sea or horizon every day with their own eyes. They had no telescopes or understanding that the sun is millions of miles away. The same story existed in popular legends about Alexander the Great, Dhul-Qarnayn, which were already circulating in Arabia before Muhammad. In those stories, Alexander reaches the place where the sun sets into a dark, muddy, or smelly body of water. So when the Quran describes Dhul-Qarnayn reaching the setting place of the sun and finding it setting in a muddy spring, it matched exactly what the people already believed. It wasn't strange to them at all. It was common sense. This literal understanding was how early scholars like Ibn Abbas understood it. It only looked that way. It only looked that way explanation only became popular centuries later after Muslims learned Greek science and realized the earth is round. Hold on a
The
second.
fact is that it didn't even came with that opinion and suddenly became
Yeah,
flat
obviously, as
earth,
time
like,
goes on,
as
look,
soon
look,
as
look.
they
Let me tell you
put
something.
out Quran.
As time goes on, we make. There's new inventions.
Are you
There's new
French or
inventions.
Arab? I don't understand.
Scientifically, there's new technologies that are about that enables you to gain a full understanding about this. But obviously, back in the days, they didn't. They just went through what they could see, basically.
Right, but the difference here is that they should have just Allah is the one who told this story. This is in the Quran.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, obviously. So it's a research that needs to be made, innit? It's a research that needs to be made, innit?
Why?
I can't, because I don't know about this.
Right, because Allah should have known that the sun doesn't set in a body of dark water, right?
What do you mean?
Allah's the one speaking here. He says Dhul-Qarnayn walked and he followed away until he reached the setting of the sun, which sets in a dark body of water. Allah is saying this.
Obviously, you know it is.
So
You know it is. I can't speak. No, obviously, you know it is. You have to do research about this. You can't just say. You can't just say that.
Look, Muhammad.
You don't know if you're saying it. You don't know if you're saying it metaphorically, whatever. You get me. You have to do proper research about this, man.
What do you mean? We just read that.
You're taking it literal. You're taking it literal. Obviously, it goes against what science says, isn't it? So obviously.
But we just read that they were taking it literal.
Yeah, that's them. That's because from what they could see. But obviously, I'm saying now we have the technology needed to see. So I'm saying for that specific verse, you need to know whether it's saying it literal or not. You need to do your own research.
Here, look, Muhammad even said the same thing. I'm trying to find the Hadith where Muhammad said the same thing. If anybody knows it, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Where's this Hadith? Hold on, I'll just ask Rock for it. Where's the Hadith where Muhammad asks a person where the sun sets and he gives the answer? I think it's Sunan Abi Dawud, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's check it out. Let's chat GBT this.
Yeah, Sunan Abi Dawud 4002. Let's pull that up. Bro, this is Grok, man. Grok is actually really good. It's gotten a lot better over time. All right, so here, look at this story right here, live yours. I was sitting behind the messenger of Allah who was riding a donkey while the sun was setting. He asked, "Do you know where this sets?" I replied, "Allah and his apostle know best." He said, "It sets in a spring of warm water."
You that it sets in Madeira water. He was before his time.
What do you think, live yours?
As I said, I don't know what to say.
He was clearly wrong, right?
Well, it goes against science, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes against science. And the thing about it is, if Muhammad would have been talking about like metaphorical or how it may appear to be, then he wouldn't have asked him this question.
Sorry.
Cool. Listen, cool. Listen, I already told you I don't know about this. I don't know what you're trying to get to, but just
What I'm trying to
continuing with
get to
this.
is that Muhammad was just clearly a, common man living in 7th century saying things that people believed in the 7th century.
Of course, he was a man. We're not saying he's God. He was a man. He was a man. The Prophet's not all knowing.
Right.
God is all knowing.
But that implies also that he did not have direct revelation from Allah.
How do you say it? It's not that. That verse that you told me about. That verse, you need to do proper research to know whether it's speaking literal or whether it's metaphorically speaking.
So when you think about it, right, if you were living in 7th century and you were just looking at the sun with your own 2 eyes, what kind of conclusions would you be able to draw from what you see?
If I was living in the 7th century, I would just think the sun's going down. I wouldn't know much. I'm living in the 7th century where there's no technology.
So you would just be able to see it moving and then going to the west and setting, or setting in the east and whatever, I don't know, wherever, east or west, but you would just see it setting.
It rises from the east and sets from the west, I think. Yeah.
So it's pretty much how they would describe it is how we're thinking about it, right? It would look like it's going to set in the water.
Of course.
So, but the thing here is that if that would have been common knowledge for human beings, then Allah should have been able to say, no, guys, even though it looks like that, that's not what's actually happening. That would have been an interesting revelation.
Listen, Islam is a guidance. Knowing where the sun sets it doesn't need to be a revelation from God. Knowing where the sun sets, it's just basic knowledge. Come on.
Yo, look what Moose Deer says. Look at Moose Deer says in the comments. So the sun is drowning.
In his mind, the sun is drowning. I don't know what he's talking about.
Look at how all the hadiths and verses explain the movement of the sun, right? Here's what the Quran and hadith say about the sun's movements and where it sets. Surah Al-Kahf 1886. Until when it reached the setting of the sun, he found it setting in a spring of murky water. Surah Yasin 36:38. And the sun runs its course to a fixed place. That is the decree of Almighty, the All-Knowing. So they think the sun sets somewhere. It ends up going to a fixed location. And it is he who created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon each swimming in an orbit. So they literally think the water, they literally think the earth is that the sun is going in water. Sahih Bukhari.
You're just taking it. You're taking it through literal text. You haven't even done proper research about the verses you're reading. You're using stupid logics to it.
Look, Sahih Bukhari 3199. The Prophet said, the sun goes and prostrates beneath the throne.
Okay, would you take that literal now?
I mean, how is this any better than the other thing is saying? This is pretty.
That's what I'm saying. You need to do proper research. You can't just go on ChatGPT and take exactly what it says. You need to do your own research.
So look, the sun goes
I don't
and prostrates.
know. I told you I don't know.
Look at this. This is interesting, right? The sun goes and prostrates beneath the throne, then asks for permission to rise. It is given permission until a time comes when it will be told to return from where it came. So it will rise from the west. Hold on. So in this one, it sets under the throne, right? In the other one, it sets in a pool of water, right? But look at this. Do the sources say there is water under the throne? Let's see. Yes, it did. Don't lie. There's a mention. Hold on, we're gonna find this.
That's what I'm saying. Look, scary hours. You need to do proper research about this. Coming on TikTok and just like critiquing it when you don't have no idea on what it's actually trying to infer or what it's literally saying, then it's not right. That's what I'm saying. It's scary hours. Just go do your own research, do your own searches. Don't come to TikTok where trying to get insight from these kafirs.
Look, here it is. Here it is. See, Quran 11 verse 7. And it is he who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and his throne had been upon water. Thanks, Sajida.
Okay. So we're trying to say that the throne of Allah is in water.
That's what it's on water, it says. It's on top of water. And then the sun goes there.
Come on, bro. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about this. You need to do your own research, brother. Listen, even I need to do my research, bro.
I agree.
You can't literally take this and say that Allah's throne is up upon the water when it literally says that Allah's throne is above the heavens.
Look, so the Quran says that the throne is on water and the sun goes into that water. Look, but look, I'm gonna say, could I make that connection and why? Look at this. You guys gotta know the right questions to ask this.
It would be a weak one.
It says yes, you could make that connection, but it would be a weak one. Here's the honest breakdown. Quran 11:7 says the throne is on water. Hadith says the sun sets in water. Hadith says the sun prostrates under the throne. Some people connect the dots and conclude the sun sets in the water that's under the throne. That seems pretty clear to me.
Wait, continue. Go down.
Let's see what it says. Why this connection is weak. The Quran says the throne was on water before creation. It doesn't say the throne is still sitting on the water today. The throne moved. The hadith about the sun setting in a spring and the hadith about the sun prostrating under the throne are two separate narrations. They are not in the same hadith. None of the early scholars, Ibn Abbas, Al-Tabari, made this connection. They didn't say the spring is located under the throne. The spring of water is described as being on the edge of the earth. From
Edge of the earth?
Yeah, from the edge of the earth.
Where is the edge of the earth? Can you enlighten us? I'd like to know. I want to visit.
The spring of the water described in the edge of the earth from Dhul-Qarnayn's perspective, while the throne is in the highest realm of existence. Bottom line, you can make that the connection if you want to, but it's not something clearly stated or supported by the text. It's an interpretation that requires you to combine three different. Yeah, but I think you're confused, AI. Hold on, let me talk to AI for a second. Right, but they think that the sun travels to underneath the throne, right? Where the water would be.
I have a question. Is the sun cooling down when it comes to water? So let's say every single time you
not
come
exactly. Here's the precise distinction. The authentic hadith, Sahih Bukhari 3199, says the sun travels after sunset until it prostrates underneath the throne and asks permission to rise again. It does not say the sun goes into water when it does this. The water part comes from two separate things. Quran 11:7. Allah's throne was upon water before creation. The weaker version of the hadith, which says the sun sets in a spring of warm water. Even in the versions that combine both ideas, the hadith doesn't explicitly say the spring is located under the throne. It just says the sun sets in a spring, then goes and...
Go ahead. What were you saying, boss? Who else was talking earlier?
I said that Does the sun like cool down every single time it comes to the water and then like
That's what I
rise
was
Come
up?
on, bro.
thinking
But
it
use
was
your
a.
brain. That's what I'm saying. Use your brains. Don't just. That's what I'm saying. Don't just take it literal. You have to do proper research. You know what I'm
Okay, let's
saying?
see.
That's good what you're doing right now. I
How
like
how
what
do
you're
you
doing.
interpret the edge of the earth part? That's what I want to know. The edge of the earth. Like how else could we interpret that live?
Yo, Liv, I think you're like one of those guys that me and Scary spoke to that's under that spell, that hadith, where you just have like this, like, I don't know, there's like replay that you always say the same things. It's like, you gotta research, you gotta do this. It's like, I don't know, brother. You never look at these things and question it and go like research it after?
Here, look at this. See, so look at this thing right here. Musnad Ahmad, hadith number 2948 says, narrated Abu Dar, the Prophet asked me, hold on a second, guys. Who has a loud background? The Prophet asked me, oh, Rita's here. Rita. I can't do it like you, Rita.
Scary,
Hello,
Alan.
Rita. Hello. Rita, you
Hi,
are
hi.
so
God
animated.
bless you.
Where do you get all that energy from?
No, I just, I don't know, bursts of energy here and there.
Let me
So what am
see.
I missing? Oh
Right
no,
now,
not live yours. This
live
guy's
yours.
still here?
He's amazing. He's amazing. He
Listen,
learns.
look, right now, we're learning something. Listen, Rita, don't come with no
Okay,
arrogance and
okay. Let me
stubbornness.
not stop you. Carry on.
So look at this
We're learning.
hadith. This hadith has both of them together. So it says, the Prophet asked me, do you know where the sun sets? This is Musnad Ahmad 2948. I said, Allah the Messenger knows best. He said, it sets in a spring of warm, murky water. Then it prostrates under the throne. Oh, so they take it as like two separate events, but it still happens to both of them. This is the version that puts both phrases together in one narration. The sun sets in a spring and then prostrates under the throne. Got it. Yeah,
Show them
Yeah.
the solar,
this is a science class.
the
for sure.
solar system.
We
Yeah,
didn't know
show them the
this.
solar system because apparently
we see it?
Muhammad he thought that the sun actually sets in the earth. He thought the sun was teeny tiny. That it
Listen,
was
we
just a
already
marble that was
tried.
shining up there.
That's what I'm saying. We already tried. He already tried making that claim, and I told
Isn't
him
that
you gotta do your
like
proper
a
research.
teeny tiny
You
pebble?
don't know if it's taking it literal or not.
No, he's taking it literally. Muhammad was always talking literally. He wasn't talking metaphysically. Okay,
Yeah, and
as
it
you
says,
always say.
it says, we just read it. It says Ibn, who was it that took it literally? The two of your scholars did.
Yeah, and we
Everything
just
is
read it. We just
metaphysical
read
in
it.
Islam.
They had.
He was
They
saying
had.
it metaphysically.
Yeah, and we just read it. We just read it. Cool. We just read it. They had the same ideology of the people that thought that the sun sets in
Really?
in a
So
lake.
Muhammad had the same idea as
Of course,
pagans.
bro. They were not pagans.
Oh,
No, but
who
They were
knew?
not pagans.
Who else
He
believed the
didn't.
sun set
He
in
didn't
mud?
say. Bro, you know how
here,
many
look.
people Muslims that
So it
were living at the
says,
time of Muhammad? Do you think there were only pagans living at the time of Muhammad?
so look, Ibn
Sallallahu
Abbas
alaihi
took
wasallam.
it literally. Look, Ibn Abbas took it literally. Ikrimah took it literally. Mujahid ibn
Look at
Jubair took
that.
it literally. Qatada ibn Di'amah took it
Qatada?
literally.
Damn.
Kabal Abar took it literally. And Imam al-Tabari took it literally.
So all your Muslims say take it literally, and then you come and tell us, no, it wasn't literal. Maybe they did not understand it.
Yo, Kaaba
Maybe it is
al-Akhbar is like
metaphysical. Say
the
metaphysical
Jew,
for me,
the
please.
Yemeni Jew that we talked about earlier.
Muslim,
Hello.
say metaphysical.
What's the question?
So we're just talking right now. Why did Ibn Abbas and others take the setting of the sun in water to be a literal thing?
Okay, beautiful. It's literal, yeah? You think it's literal?
No, I don't. I'm asking why they thought it was literal.
You know, you think it's literal that, okay,
No,
show
why
me
would
an,
why would I think it's literal? That's crazy.
no,
Why
no,
would
that they
anybody
think it.
think?
No, that they think it. Okay, please, bring up, you say Ibn Abbas, yeah? Show me where Ibn Abbas says that it is literal.
Okay, here, let's pull it up. Where does Ibn Abbas say it's literal? Name the source.
I don't know.
Let's see. It would be awkward, right? If he did take it literal, right?
What's this? Is this an AI?
No, this is something I'm not even gonna say. Yeah, this is AI, bro. It's AI. The main source is Tafsir al-Tabari. Ibn Abbas himself did not write a tafsir book, but what he wrote, what we have are narrations from his students reporting what he said. The primary source is Tafsir al-Tabari, Jami al-Bayan on Quran 1886. There you go.
Okay, so where does it say that? What does it say?
What does it say?
Yeah, what does it say?
Let me see. Can you quote what Ibn Abbas says on this?
But what's this you're writing, man?
This is I really want to say that I'm talking with Allah, but this is grok.
What is it?
Grok. It's like it's
Grok knows best.
Yeah. It really does though. It really does.
Oh my goodness.
It's more knowledgeable than the Prophet.
Simba, God bless you.
So it looks like he had an incident with Mawaya. Who's that?
Muawiyah.
Read it.
Muawiyah. It's a tongue twister, yes.
So where is
Actually,
it?
it's a...
Go down. Where is it?
Let me just see if we can find it. Do you know where to find Tafsir al-Tabari? Because you're Muslim.
There's no Tafsir al-Tabari.
Oh my God, bro! Now there's no Tafsir al-Tabari.
Okay. One second. So,
Look, hey, listen. You know, I just look. Go back to that verse, please. Go back to that verse.
No, is there a Tafsir al-Tabari or not? Who says that, dude?
Tafsir
This
al-Tabari,
guy, I
of
think
course.
his brain just malfunctions.
what's wrong with you?
Like,
One second. Everyone,
what's up?
please.
Why
just
would
be
you
quiet,
say
okay?
there's no Tafsir al-Tabari?
Okay. One second. Can I speak? Show me the Tafsir al-Tabari book. Show me it.
This is so crazy.
Show me it.
Look, my friend says.
Tafsir al-Tabari means al-Tabari's exegesis, yes? Just show me the book then.
Let's see what it says. Takia alarm.
Okay, show me the book. Where's the book?
Look at this.
Okay, can you go for... I'll give it to you. I'll give you the source, okay?
Give me the book. This guy said Tafsir al-Tabari. Tafsir al-Tabari. It's not like...
Look.
Okay.
I put my friend says Tafsir al-Tabari doesn't exist. Your friend is wrong.
As one book.
Tafsir al-Tabari is one of the most famous and important books in Islamic history.
Yeah, they can't do away with Tafsir al-Tabari. Al-Tabari is the greatest historian in Islam, in Sunni Islam as well. So you can't just throw him away. That's crazy. But you know where the hadith comes from? Scary?
No,
so if you go to chapter 18, verse 86.
Yeah. That's what we read it before, yeah. So
that's the tafsir for it.
So
right?
Full name is the
You want to hear me?
Here, let me answer. Look, Jamil al-Bayan and Atawali.
Jami' al-Bayan, yeah.
Ayal Quran. Author
So
Imam Muhammad ibn Jarir al-Tabari.
Okay, so show me.
It is a 30-volume tafsir. It is considered one of the earliest
So show me it.
tafsir that still exists today.
Show me it then. What does he say?
You can easily find it. Let me see. So I gotta type. I'm assuming I gotta put this in.
This guy.
Look
Right here.
out the...
again,
the
when you say Tafsir al-Tabari, you mean the exegesis of Imam al-Tabari. But I say...
Oh my God. So you need to be told what a tafsir is?
Yes, but I'm not...
You want to explain what a tafsir is to us. It's an explanation.
Yes.
Very simply put. You don't need to go say exegesis this, exegesis that. We know. So just get to the meat of the... Get to the meat of the matter,
Imam
please.
al-Tabari have done explanations of various verses in the Quran. But I'm saying to this guy, show me the book Tafsir al-Tabari. Okay, so where does it say? It is literal, the meaning of the settling in the mud. Show me where it says it's literal.
Let me see if I can find it.
You gotta find it.
And even that verse,
it's in the tafsir anyway. So
that verse is not Allah saying. That verse is not Allah saying the sun ditches.
These guys will takfir their own sources. It's crazy.
Bro, read the verse again. I beg
you are takfiring Ibn Abbas. You are takfiring al-Tabari.
Okay, look.
Show me where Ibn Abbas says that it is literal.
We're gonna find it, guys.
Listen, I'm gonna help you guys out.
What was it? If it's not literal, what is it?
Can I speak, Rita? Can I speak?
Yeah,
So
sure.
thank you.
If it's not,
Yeah, thank you.
if it's
So
not
I'm gonna help you
physical,
guys
if
out.
it's not,
Yeah,
if it's
yeah.
not a
So I'm gonna help.
literal
Can I speak?
meaning, what is it? What kind of
Oh,
meaning is
so
it?
I didn't know that I came to an English live where if
What's up?
something
What's
is
up?
not literal,
All
what
I'm
does it
asking
mean?
you,
Hey,
all I'm
scary,
asking you is
scary.
very
Go
simple.
to the
If
Yeah,
it's
verse.
not
Go to the
literal,
verse.
stop talking and answer my question.
yeah. So
If it's
when I
not literal, if it's
yeah.
not literal, what is it?
Okay, so you don't know the opposite of literal?
Scary,
If
go to
it's
the
not
verse.
literal, what
You
is
don't know the
it?
opposite of literal, yes or no?
I don't know.
You
You
know?
tell me.
Okay, so it's not literal.
It's not literal?
Yeah. So how you explain not literal? It's not literal.
So if it's not literal.
Yeah, I found
Yeah.
it. I found it. Go down.
That's your
Go down.
answer.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay,
guessing.
if it's not literal,
So here, look,
what
I'm
is
guessing.
it?
Is this it? Because
Not literal. What's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with
So
this
right here
woman?
it says. It says.
One second. One
It
second.
says
She
Abbas.
said if it's not. One
So
second.
is
One
this it right
second.
here, guys? Is this it?
Okay.
Abbas?
Okay.
Tafsir Abbas right
Okay.
here? What is it?
Yeah, there you
What is
go. 1886, yeah.
So till when he reached the setting place of the sun, where the sun sets, he found it setting in a muddy spring, a blackened and muddy, stinking spring. That doesn't sound metaphorical.
Nope.
He
It
found
stinks.
it in a black, stinky, muddy. Like, why would that be metaphorical?
Continue.
What's the metaphor here?
So where does it say that it's literal?
It is also.
It is always metaphorical.
It is
Where
also
does it say it's
said.
literal?
Look, it is also said that this means a hot spring, and these people were disbelievers, the people that he found near it.
Scary. Who's
Okay,
it
so where
talking
does it
about? Do
say
you know?
again? Where does it
This
say?
Yeah,
this
Dhul Qarnayn.
tafsir.
Yeah, this is
So
Dhul Qarnayn.
Dhul
So where does it
Qarnayn,
say? Where does it say?
Dhul
it's literal?
Qarnayn, according, what's up? Please be quiet because you said you don't know already. So Dhul Qarnayn refers to
When did
Alexander
I
the
say I don't
Great.
know? What?
According, be quiet. Do not get muted, please. So apparently, this is about Dhul Qarnayn, who the Muslims want us to believe is Alexander the Great as their prophet. They believe he's a prophet when we never believed him. He was
So
never a
so
prophet at all. He was just a
irrelevant.
pagan entity.
Irrelevant.
Okay. So
Irrelevant.
this guy, be quiet. So this guy apparently went to some people, right? To some mole people, and he found them near a spring. This spring was filthy, stinky, dirty. And the Quran says, it's Allah speaking, that Dhul Qarnayn found these people near, and the sun was setting in that spring. And that stinky spring was literally gobbling up the sun. That's what Ibn Abbas said, Muhammad said. And Ibn Abbas is repeating what Muhammad said. Do you know who Ibn Abbas is? He is Hibr al-Ummah, Turjuman al-Islam, al-Din. So you can't just go against Ibn Abbas. You can't.
I don't.
No matter how hard you try, you
I
can't.
don't know. You know.
No, I mean, I can speak. I can
Okay,
continue talking
yeah,
about this
continue.
forever
Preach,
and ever
preach.
and
Go
ever.
on, preach. No,
And
preach,
ever
preach.
and ever.
Yeah, preach. Go on, preach.
So this is the book, but it's in Arabic. So I
No,
would
no, no.
not
One
read
second.
it.
I
La
don't think
hawla
your
wa la
friend.
quwwata
I don't
illa
think your friend is finished.
billah. So much reading.
finish?
Bro, Allah did not say that the sun
One second,
sets in a
one
sprut,
second,
in a muddy spring lake.
One second,
It does not say
one
that.
second, because this Rita, she likes to interrupt. Let her finish. I finish.
I finish whenever I want, but you can speak. You have my permission.
Okay, thank you.
You have my permission to speak.
So you
Without
said
my
a whole
permission,
of-
you cannot speak.
Yeah, so you said a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, you said a whole lot of nothing. Speak about Alexander the Great and whatever.
Scary,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
29.
So the topic in this case is it literal or is it not? You guys claim it as you showed me.
We claim?
somewhere it's-
Well,
Can I
look, brother,
speak?
look at this.
Can I speak?
Yeah,
What's
go
wrong
ahead,
with you? One second. What's wrong with you? Should I quote Leviticus to her?
But look, what's up? Look, even Muhammad,
Yeah, should I
took
quote
it
Leviticus?
Look, even
Yeah, so
Muhammad
one
took
second.
it literal.
If you guys, yes, 1 second. Can I speak? Yeah.
Please.
So again. Okay, let's read this hadith. You brought it up, yeah? Let's read it. I was sitting behind the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was riding a donkey. What does it say after?
While the sun was setting.
Yeah, he asked, "Do you know where this sets?" I replied, "And his apostles know best." I can't read it.
Allah and his apostles know best. And
Yeah. He said it sets in a spring of warm
water.
Beautiful.
I cut it. It's absolutely so we don't still like it.
Beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Again, listen.
It's beautiful to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna explain why it's beautiful.
How is it beautiful? Please tell us the beauty of this hadith.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So everyone listen quietly now, yeah? This guy, when I say the sun sets into the horizon, that's what you see. That's a physical observation. Yeah, that's a physical observation.
Perfect timing.
Now, that's not what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you. Does the sun set in the water? Yeah. I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you, where does it be taken literal that the sun goes into the water?
Well,
yeah?
brother, so think about this context here. Muhammad is asking this guy.
Okay, so if I show you, So if I show you that the prophet, okay, 1 second.
Hey, look, think about this. He said, he said, do you know where this sets, where the sun sets? Muhammad is asking him. I don't know why he would be asking him that, right? Maybe this was an interesting question in the 7th century Arabia. Maybe it was. Anyway, the guy said, I don't know where it sets. Only Allah and his messenger know best, right? That's a true statement. Allah would know better than anybody else.
Okay.
So what you get here is, first of all, number one, the people at that time did not know where the sun sets.
Okay.
Did they know or did they not know?
That's not true.
Then why did the guy say Allah knows best?
Allah knows everything best. What's wrong with you? Are you serious?
So you don't know best, right?
No.
Let's just clarify. You don't know best, right?
Let me ask you a question. When is the only time Muslims say Allah knows best?
Allah knows best.
When do you guys use that statement usually?
In everything.
What?
In everything.
You see, they don't know. Allah knows best is when they don't know.
I know.
When they can't say exactly.
That's
so
the Muslim way of saying I don't know. When a Muslim doesn't know, you're supposed to say Allah knows best, dude.
We have to teach you all of this. We have to teach you when you say Allah knows best.
So when a person tells me, that for instance, is this halal or haram? I says it's
beautiful.
Allah knows best.
Beautiful.
Yo, but scary. Scary.
It's very wrong. It's very weird when you say, you only say Allah knows best when you don't know, bro. I say Allah knows best in every regards into the matter. Like for instance, if somebody asks me, is this halal or haram?
Brothers yapping now. Ask AI what they believe back then, because they believe the sun was in the middle
I don't know this diversion
of the universe,
and
that everything revolved around it.
1 second.
That's what they believed back then, and he said no.
Yeah.
Can I speak, Neo? Can I speak?
You spoke a lot, brother. You're just saying a lot of nothing now.
Yeah. Okay. Can I speak now? Yeah. So I know that Christians.
You know what we can do? Can you take him to Quran.com, Scary, and then show us the translation of Hilali and Khan, please.
Yeah, look at this real quick though, because I'm gonna answer what Neo was saying. So look, what people in the 7th century genuinely believed. People back then had a completely different picture of the universe than we do today.
I already told you this, bro. This guy
they believed that the earth was flat, like a big disc. So the sky was like a dome or solid ceiling over it. Every night, the sun physically went down into the ocean or a spring at the western edge of the world, traveled through the underworld, and came back up in the next morning. This wasn't some crazy idea. It was normal. It was the normal worldview across the entire ancient Near East for thousands of years. Babylonians, Egyptians, early Jews, etc. In Arabia specifically, they saw the sun disappear into the sea or horizon every day with their own eyes. They had no telescopes or understanding that the sun is millions of miles away. This same story existed in popular legends about Alexander the Great, which were already circulating in Arabia before Muhammad.
Exactly.
In those stories, Alexander reaches the place where the sun sets into a dark, muddy, or smelly body of water. That the smelly
and the
part
problem
is
the problem is Allah is repeating this.
Right,
this
and
nonsense.
Allah is repeating it. And the funny part about it is that
listen, Allah's not repeating it. You're right. Read the verse. Read the verse.
The funny part about it is that look at this part right here. And they asked you, O Muhammad, about Dhul Qarnayn. So this was actually a test that the unbelievers were doing to Muhammad.
It's about him. Remember, the whatever he's saying is about him. It's not Allah saying the sun sets. It's about Dhul Qarnayn.
So what they were trying
to perspective, his own perspective.
So what they were doing is they were trying to
shouldn't
test
Allah?
They were trying to test Muhammad's prophethood by asking him about Dhul Qarnayn.
Okay.
And so
So
Allah
what's it?
says to Muhammad, don't worry, I'm going to give you the answers. Right?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
recite to you
But he
about
gave
him.
him
in
the
full.
wrong answer. He gave him the wrong
Scary.
answer.
What do you mean
Scary.
giving the wrong answers? Read. Are you Fred?
So now
Scary,
what's up?
scary.
Now you notice that you literally try to play Takia with one of your biggest tafsirs, and that went wrong. And then
Yep.
you try to
What's
say
weird?
people back
The
then
thing
in
is,
the
the thing
7th
is, the thing
century
is,
didn't
yeah, the
I
believe
thing
don't.
in
is,
these
Leo.
things.
Scary hours.
The
Why
thing
are you
is,
so
Leo.
scared to
The
go
thing
back
is,
to the
Leo.
verse? Let's
I'm
read the
yet
verse.
to
Let's
wait
go.
to.
So
Hello,
so
hello,
now we
hello,
understand.
hello.
Now we understand why the guy said Allah knows best, because they didn't know. So
Okay, okay.
what
So
this
one second,
story is
one
actually
second.
telling you is that
Okay, one second, one second.
this guy is basically saying, he's like, look, I don't know where the sun sets, right?
Yeah.
All I know is that
Subhanallah.
it looks like it's going down and up every night. So now he's
Yeah,
expecting to get the true answer from the
yeah,
messenger of Allah. And the
yeah.
answer that he gets from Muhammad is, yes, it sets in a spring of warm water.
Okay, can I get like can I get to speak now without Neo or your Leviticus woman speaking?
You know the funny part about this hadith,
Can I
Scary,
speak?
is that
Can I
it's
speak?
Muhammad
Exactly.
instigating this conversation.
Right.
Okay,
He
fine.
starts it
No,
out.
no.
He asks, "Do you know where the sun sets?"
Right.
And so this was like, just this whole back and forth was so stupid because he starts it out. If it was the other guy who asked the question and Muhammad goes, "Hey, I don't know, like you tell me," it would be okay. But this was Muhammad who starts it and Muhammad who ends it. So it was stupid because let's see how it starts. I was sitting behind the messenger of Allah who was riding a donkey and the sun was setting.
And
Muhammad asked.
Muhammad turns around and he's like, yo.
Exactly. He turns around. Yo, man.
You know where the sun sets,
Do you
bro?
know?
Think about
And
it.
he
If
tells him,
you were living in
he
the
says,
7th
"Do you know
century
where the
with no
sun
TV,
sets?"
no smoke,
Yani,
Yeah.
what kind
do you
of
think you would
what
be
kind
doing?
of maniacal person? Listen. Live yours.
You don't even know
This
where you'll
is
be
this
then.
is exactly the
Muhammad was
reason
trying
why
to
you
show
should
off
leave
his
Islam.
knowledge. Yeah, he was trying to show
Exactly.
off his knowledge. That's what it was.
It's
obviously.
crazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
So he
Listen,
turns
like
right around and he goes, "Do you know where the sun sets?"
So this
I
guy,
replied
so this,
to the apostle. What did he say? Oh, Allah and the apostle know best, and Allah and the apostle got it wrong.
right. So
okay,
basically
That's
what
it.
so basically what actually happened was Muhammad was a traveler, right? He was a merchant, so he would go around hearing stories, and he heard the story of Alexander the Great, where it says the sun set in water. So then he thought, he's like, oh, I got some hidden knowledge from these people in another country, and he comes back and he's trying to show off to people in Arabia.
Okay, I finished.
Do you know where the sun sets? Because I know.
Yeah, so the thing
They're
is,
so
one
dumb.
night,
Who
listen,
cares?
yeah, so I've left
The
that.
fact that this was a
You guys
conversation
are so
back then
stupid,
is so
bro.
hilarious.
No, one second, one second. Let them finish,
Like,
Akhi.
In comparison to the conversations Jesus Christ was having with his disciples and all the people that were there and the Pharisees and, all of them having these, profound conversations with each other. And then you turn to
What
Islam
type
and
of
then this
profound?
is
What
what
type
you
of
find.
what type of
Muhammad
conversation?
saying,
Akhi,
"Do you know
trust,
where the sun sets?"
trust.
Where does it set? Where does it set? Coincidentally, I'd like to know.
Okay, I finished.
Have you found out where it sets?
I finished.
That verse is talking about the
One second, one
perspective
second.
from Dhul Qarnayn.
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah,
munafiqeen.
yeah. Well, Akhi, one second. Let them finish though.
What's up and live yours are two munafiqeens, that's what
No,
they
one
are.
second. You guys finished? Because the funny thing is, Rita was speaking. Then I was gonna speak. Then host was speaking, and then I said, okay, let me leave the app. Then Rita was speaking again. So I don't really understand.
Oh, you're going to leave the app?
No, I left the app. I was going
Oh
to Insta
no,
threads.
how heartbreaking. How will we live
No,
without you?
I mean, I've waited a very
How
long
will I
time.
live?
I waited a very long
What
time.
will I do with
Oh,
myself?
so you're not finished yet?
I
Okay,
will
go on.
go and unalive.
Are you finished? One second. So Jesus doesn't tell the people to go on alive with their mothers?
Oh, what's up? What are we
One
going to
second.
do
Doesn't
with
Jesus tell them his followers to unalive their mothers?
all right.
Are you done?
No, I'm not.
Muhammad was talking about the sun setting in murky
Yeah,
waters.
so I'm gonna answer that. Can I speak?
It was setting in stinky, murky water.
Yeah. So the thing is, what I understand from this live is that the woman is only repeating everything that the host says, and then host says
Okay.
something that
Because I
doesn't-
agree with him.
No, you're repeating.
Can I not agree with you,
what
Scary
repeat and
Hour?
agreeing
What's
is?
going on?
What's the difference between repeating and
I'm a
agreeing?
Kaffir. I'm a Kaffir sister.
Yeah, so am I?
Why are you a munafiq?
So am
No,
I
don't
to
worry.
respond?
Scary
Am I
hours.
to
You're gonna come
respond?
to Islam soon. I can tell.
Crazy,
Don't worry.
Am I to
crazy.
respond or not?
Not after
You're just
today.
What?
Am I to
Why not
respond
after
or not?
today?
I said not after today.
I'm not going to respond to what you're saying.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes,
why not after today?
Very much. Thank you very much. So the
You
thing
don't
is,
even know what you're
I've
saying.
been
bro.
waiting.
Okay.
Once I go on, you can speak. Yeah.
Hey, is here. I can't believe it. After
Yeah.
so many months.
So I've been waiting for host to show me anything that you just claimed. Like he said that Ibn Abbas is claiming this and that it is literal. Even At-Tabari Imam At-Tabari is claiming that it is literal,
Brother,
and many other scholars.
we just
Can I
read the
speak?
Tafsir
Can I
Ibn
speak?
Abbas. We just read the
Can I speak?
Tafsir Ibn Abbas.
Can I speak?
The only thing he said is that this muddy
Okay.
spring.
Where does it say it's literal? Show me.
I mean, where does it say it's metaphorical?
So
It does. It's
the thing
giving
you're
his
reading
own
now.
perspective.
One second. What you're reading now, he found it sitting in a muddy spring. Yeah, he found it.
Who found what?
He found it from his own perspective.
So
Who
is it not
found
from his
what?
perspective? And secondly, is that not from the Quran?
Let's see. This is why I think you guys are so silly, right? Because
No, I'm not finished though. I'm not finished. Can I make my?
Let me say something.
Yeah, but I'm not. Listen, I'm not even finished.
Wait, brother. Stop talking for a second. Even what you're saying is not even possible. There's no way that anybody could ever find the sun setting in a pool of muddy water. If you like, because when if you see the sun in a distance, right? The closer, I can't even say it's weird to even say closer, but if you go in that direction, the sun will just rise.
Oh no, you're wrong.
Yeah, so you never get to a.
No, you're wrong.
No,
you're
I'm
wrong.
not. There's never a point where you
speak?
walk towards the sun. And you get to a place and you're like, oh, look, it's in water. That never happens, even from a perspective point of view.
Yes, very beautiful, very beautiful. Firstly, my first thing to note is you have yet to show where Ibn Abbas says it is literal. At-Tabari, can I speak? I'm gonna leave if I'm not gonna. Hey, listen, I've spoke.
You can't show that. What's up? You can't show it. You can't show it.
I've been waiting 10 minutes.
I'm trying to how can I show this to you guys?
I've been waiting for 10 minutes to speak.
This is the sun. I really wish I could visualize.
Mm-hmm.
I need to visualize.
You can't show that it's literal. You can't even show that it's Allah telling you that the sun sets.
Put the cup upside down. It would be more accurate.
So I've been waiting for 10 minutes. Can I speak?
Look, here it is. Look, this is the sun.
No, it's getting boring because when I'm talking, you are interrupting. Bro, I'm gonna be muted. I want you to say everything you have, everything. Tell me everything you have, and then I'm gonna respond.
This is what you would see, right? This is what it would actually look like, right? So from this guy's perspective, if he's looking like this, this would look like the sun is setting, right? But if he keeps walking, he's gonna be here, and then he'll be able to see, oh, the sun is not setting and shit.
So what is he saying then? When he's up there, what is he saying?
The only reason that you get this perspective
one second. Your picture is nonsense.
Far away.
Your picture is nonsense. When the person who's up there,
no, it isn't. I like your artistic work. Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
Brother, that was
okay, so
what's up? You
can
clearly
I
showed that you don't know.
Can I respond
to
you? Or you're two Christian women there?
Wait, what's up? You're disagreeing with what he said.
Can I respond to you, or can I say what I'm going to say?
Wait, are you disagreeing?
I think it's time you left Islam now. Okay. You have to defend such stupidity because Allah in the Quran is saying until he reached a point, Allah is the one who said it first, right? And then Muhammad repeats it. But before Allah, the people knew.
Hello, can I speak?
Okay, tell us.
I don't really
Christians listen from
this is funny. Wallahi, this is funny. The woman thinks that if you repeat yourself so many times until
because you don't understand,
you're lost of words, then it means you either won the argument or you're spitting true facts.
What's up?
Please just be quiet, bro. Just as it says in Leviticus that you ought not to speak.
Didn't know.
One second, just as it says in Leviticus, you ought not to speak.
You clearly don't know what's going on back then, brother. No, you're just yapping now,
just as it says in Leviticus, you ought not to speak. Let me speak. And now, you please just be quiet, yeah, please. I don't want to swear. So, can you guys be quiet, please? Yeah, thank you very much. Please don't interrupt me now, yeah? So first, host, you made a claim. Ibn Abbas says it's literal. Imam At-Tabari says it's literal. And many other scholars says it is literal. I'm waiting for that still. Secondly, when you go to the Quran, it says he found it. setting in a muddy spring. Found it
Who's
means
saying
that
he
he's.
found it?
Is this woman still gonna interrupt me, or am I to be speaking? Am I gonna speak, or
Who?
are you gonna interrupt? Yeah or no? Yes
Yes,
or no?
but who? Who
Yeah, I'm gonna
found
answer
it?
that. If you just be quiet, like as I've been
Okay,
quiet for
fine.
20
Okay,
minutes now.
okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
just be
you've been
quiet. Yeah.
talking for the past 3 minutes. We need to
Oh,
know.
3 minutes. Oh, that's generous. That's generous. All right. So,
Ooh, I am
found it
generous.
means
More
it is
generous than
his
Allah.
perspective. Who's
Okay.
speaking here in the whole Quran? It's Allah Azza wa Jal who's speaking. Yeah. So this guy found it in setting in a spring. So host made a picture. Host made a picture saying that if you go closely enough, you cannot possibly see the sun setting. Okay, host. If I'm close to a mountain, or something that's higher up than me, yeah. Is it not setting? Does it not seem that the thing is setting into this
No.
into the? Can you be quiet? Doesn't
No.
it seem to be setting since you cannot see the sun after it goes under it? Yeah. So the
Yeah,
thing is,
we're
I don't
not
really know
stupid
why you're
enough to
making that
believe
picture.
such a
That
thing.
that picture
No.
is so stupid.
If your
Secondly,
Allah and Muhammad didn't know how the sun,
thirdly,
how the sun
Allah
is
Azza
far
wa Jal
removed
says,
from the
Allah
earth,
Azza wa Jal, Allah
and
Azza
it's
wa Jal,
not
Are you
close
reading
enough,
it?
Allah,
Scary,
Allah
scary. Read
Azza
it's
it,
wa
read
Jal
it.
not
Scary.
in our
already
orbit,
says that
let alone
heaven
in
and
our world.
the
That's
sun
the
and
stupidity of your
okay.
Allah. That's not,
Allah Azza wa
it's
Jal
not our
already
fault.
says the sun and the moon is in us orbit.
Look. Let me
Yeah.
We
read
don't
this. Look, let
believe
me
that
So
read
when
this.
it's in an orbit, it means
Look.
it goes around and round and round and round.
Yeah, look, let me read this. Let me read this.
Thirdly, we
Look.
can
Let me read this. Look, the sun setting into water effect is caused by the Earth's curvature, not a simple optical trick you can walk out of. The horizon is always curving away from you at roughly the same distance, about 3 miles, 5 kilometers at eye level.
Does the sun set in the horizon? Yes or no?
Look, listen.
Does the sun set in the horizon? Yes or no?
Why don't you learn to listen, Wasa?
Look, even if
What's the matter with you?
you walked at supersonic speed, you would see the sun appear to rise again. If you kept going, it would set again. You would never see the sun stop setting in water.
Yeah, so you wouldn't see it stop setting in water. It's basically you're bound to see it stop setting.
Wonderful. So you just proved our point
What
that
do you mean?
Allah didn't know, neither did Muhammad. Muhammad was talking out of his behind.
Okay, now tell
You
me
just,
where.
you just
Okay,
proved our
where did Allah say that the sun sets in
He said
in
it.
a lake?
He said
He did not say that. He did not say
Can I read it for you?
Look,
I'll read
it
it for
says
you,
right
okay?
here, look, it literally says.
Read it properly.
Hey, look,
Read
it
it
literally
properly.
says, and they ask you, O Muhammad, about Dhul Qarnayn. Say, I will recite to you about him a report.
A report.
Okay,
Yes.
so wait. Let's go slowly. Let's go slowly.
Be quiet,
Let's
live
go
yours, and
slowly.
learn.
Let's go slowly.
Indeed, we established
quiet.
upon the earth, and we gave him and everything away. So he followed away until he reached the setting of the sun. This is talking
There you
from
go.
Allah's perspective.
No, it's still talking about his perspective. Read it from the beginning. Look what it says. So he
We
followed.
just read it from the
Read
beginning.
it from there. He's skipping verses. Read it.
We read it from
We
the
literally
beginning.
just
Nobody
read-
skipped anything.
We read the
You
whole
just
thing.
can't deal with the stupidity of
No.
your
Go down.
Allah.
Go down.
And
Right
then
there.
look,
Right there.
And
Right.
then look, hold on. This is the
Yeah,
funniest
oh
thing.
my
is that it
dude,
gets
this
even
guy is
fun-
so
look,
scared.
Look, it even gets funnier, right? Because first he sees the setting of the sun. Check this out. He sees the setting of the sun in 86, right? Until he reached the setting of the sun. But then he kept walking, right? Then he followed away. He traveled on
Okay.
until
So
when
that's-
he came to the rising of the sun.
Okay.
Is that a metaphor
Bro.
also?
From his perspective, it's given.
Yes, it is
But how is it
metaphorical.
not
From his
One
perspective.
second.
From
But
his
it can't stop stepping. How is
perspective.
it from his perspective?
If I find, let me give an example.
He just looked it up. Listen. Scary just looked it up. Even if you walk in supersonic speeds, it cannot stop setting. Yet Muhammad is saying in this verse that it rose again. How do you explain
Yes.
that?
Listen, stop jumping from the Quran to the Hadith. I
We're
just
not
wanna.
jumping. This is
I-
logic.
Okay.
Do you
It's
not
the same
understand?
thing.
This is the
So
reality of life.
Yeah,
If you
so no, I'm
walked,
telling-
you would
I'm
always
telling
find
you.
it setting.
I'm telling you. I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify.
So now let's see where.
that
So now
this
let's see
is
where
not
the
Allah
story.
saying.
Yeah. So now let's just see where this story comes from, right? So the Syriac Alexander legend. right? The Syriac Alexander legend.
Where does it say Dhul Qarnayn is Alexander the Great?
Don't
Where
worry.
does it say that?
Let's compare. Let's just compare the stories. It is a
Okay.
6th or 7th century legend detailing the exploits of Alexander the Great. In the beginning of the story, Alexander declares his intentions to explore the ends of the world, and he promises to God that he will rule the world. He gathers an army in Egypt and then travels to the Fetid Sea, which basically means a muddy water, but it is not able to cross it. Instead, he finds a window or a portal, a window of heaven that allows him to travel from the place where the sun sets to where it rises.
Shocking. Word for word plagiarism.
Sounds familiar to me.
Allah is a plagiarizer.
Look, he goes to where for the sun sets to where it rises. In the region of the sunrise, he travels to Central Asia and sets up camp near a mountain pass, only to be informed that he is now in the domain of the Persian emperor. He learns that beyond the mountain pass are barbarian tribes with Gog and Magog as two of their kings. Deciding to seal up their entryway through the mountains, he asked the blacksmiths and metal workers of Egypt to construct an iron and bronze wall. Right, now let's go back to the Quran.
Yeah, no, the stories are the same. The story right there, that specific part.
What is wrong with you? The fact that Allah wrote a legend into the Quran should tell you that your Quran is false.
Where does it say that Dhul Qarnayn is Alexander the Great?
So here,
you just read word for word the plagiarism of Allah.
So here, until he reached the setting of the sun, right? He found it in a spring of muddy water. Where am I? He said, as for the one who wrongs, but as the one who believes. Then he followed away until he came to the rising of the sun. And what did he find at the other place on the rising of the sun? He said a mountain and people by it, right? And encompassed them all.
And wait. Let me just make one thing clear.
Until he reaced the pass.
No.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. And until he reached the pass between two mountains, he found besides them a people who could hardly understand his speech. Then they said, "O Dhul Qarnayn, indeed what? Gog and Magog." Right? So that we may assign for you, we may assign for you an expenditure that you may make between us a barrier. Is that not the same exact thing? I will make between you and them a dam. Bring me bars of iron until, right? It's the same exact story.
Okay, no, it's not the same exact story. It's just that specific part that's the same exact.
He learns that beyond the mountain are barbarian tribes, Gag and Magog. Deciding to seal their entryway through the mountains, he takes the blacksmiths and metal workers to construct an iron and bronze wall. What more do you need to see, dude?
Bro, I said that specific event, because the events are the same, how do you know that this entails that they're the same people? That specific event, I'm not saying the whole story is the same person. Bruh. How'd you know? You're not answering. How'd you know?
This is why, look at this. Hold on a second.
Like, you're bringing some stupid arguments. Where does it say that Alexander the Great is Dhul Qarnayn? You're making that assumption yourself.
Where's the verse that says he listens to whatever they say or some shit like that?
And going back to Rita, you said Allah plagiarized. Even if it was Alexander the Great, how would that mean that he plagiarized?
Can I ask you something, the viewers? Right, I've been away. I just got back. If let's say, have you ever read a book like not the Quran, any other book?
Of course.
Can you give me your favorite book?
To be a munafiq.
Let's just go with Macbeth.
Macbeth? Okay. So Macbeth is, famous, right? We know the words in Macbeth, right?
Okay.
So if you found somebody who said that they're a poet, right?
Okay.
And they decided to copy the words in Macbeth, right?
Yeah.
Would it Be very
The
clear
analogy
that
is not the
this guy
same.
has
It's not the same.
plagiarized. No. Shh. Would it be very clear that this person has now plagiarized Macbeth?
Of course, if he's a poet, and he's trying to make another poet and it's exactly the same as Macbeth, of course, then it's plagiarized. But it has to be word for word.
Brother, look at this.
It has to be word for word. However, in this circumstance, it's not the same. You can't use that in analogy.
Look at this. So among the people who disbelieve Muhammad, this is what they used to say. There are those who insult the prophet by saying he will listen to anything.
Yep.
Because you know why? Because that story of Alexander the Great, it's a story, it's a retelling, it's a Christian adaptation of Alexander the Great that they knew they made up because the actual the historical Alexander was a pagan.
They were playing games with Muhammad like nobody's business.
So when
Muhammad, that verse you just bought, wait, stop, wait,
wait, hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. So when Muhammad copied this story, the Christians and the Jews knew that he didn't know what he was talking about because they're like, you copied the Alexander the legend, Syriac legend that we made up, and you think that that's a real revelation from Allah? That's why they insulted him by saying, man, this guy just listens to anything.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly why I give you the example. I mean, it's nice that you read Macbeth, right? We all love Shakespeare. But if somebody copies Macbeth word for word, we're going to consider that person a plagiarizer.
Of course, they're plagiarizing if they copied word for word.
Okay, so then there's a reason. I want you to listen to me, Liviors. This is for your own good.
Yeah, but you're not making sense.
You are trying to defend Muhammad for copying a story into the Quran that is not scripture. It was made up legend. Do you understand?
Listen,
it's a fairy tale.
Listen. What you're saying is not making sense. The analogy of a poet, another poet, the analogy of making using that using the analogy of the poet basically does not make sense when using it with the Quran because look.
Guys, do I still have an echo? Scared, do I have an echo?
You sound fine to me.
Yeah, you're calm, you don't have an echo. But anyways, listen, wallahi, like fix up, bro. How you using the analogy when you clearly know it don't make sense?
Look at this. And then somebody in the comment section is saying dual carnane does not mean two horns. Look at this.
Actually, it does.
Look at this.
I promise you it doesn't. Use it.
Look. Dual carnane, literal meaning, dual owner
two horns.
The one with carnane, two horns.
Yeah.
The two horned.
Dhul Qarnayn. Qarnayn means two horns in the Arabic.
Okay.
Why is he called that? The literal, he literally had two horns on his head. Some early stories say this. Figurative, it means he reached the two horns, the ends of the world, the farthest east and the west. Yeah.
I mean, look, who cares what it means? The point is that it's clearly referring to Alexander the Great. It doesn't even know its name. It doesn't know the name.
Alexander the Great is famous because of his expedition was supposedly so fast. His expedition was so fast from the east to the west that it's like almost miraculous. So then they come up with this legend. They come up with this
you guys are not understanding.
They come up with this.
You're not understanding.
They come up with this legend to explain that he had to travel through a portal to make it from the east to the west so fast. That's what they're trying to show here. But it's obviously made up because portals don't actually exist. And then Muhammad copies this. He walked from where the sun sets to where the sun rises. And he found a people. Like, what?
Again, without your own interpretation. Show me
what... It's not our interpretation, you weirdo. Your Allah is saying it.
So Allah said Alexander the Great is Dhul Qarnayn.
Yes.
And then when Muhammad heard this story, then he would go around thinking like he knew something that they didn't. That's why he would say, hey, do you guys know where the sun sets?
You know, God bless the Christians and the Jews of that time. You know, they were just messing with Muhammad, giving him stuff that really doesn't count.
That's what they were doing.
Just playing. Yeah, and they really wanted to expose him all throughout time, because they were like, this guy is claiming to be a prophet. The only thing we can do right now to refute his prophethood is by giving him garbage.
Here, I actually want to look something up. What would have the Jews of that time known?
No, that's what you guys resort to. When you guys can't refute, and when you guys can't rebuttal, you refute to insults. It's sad.
What would have the Jews and Christians known?
I can't with this boy.
Because I'm telling you, you still didn't prove to me that Alexander the Great is Dhul Qarnayn, and you still didn't prove to me that Allah is.
We just read for you what's there in the Quran and what's there in the legend, and guess what? They're word for word the same thing. Do you not know what plagiarism looks like?
Bro,
do you want to show us? Do you want to see it again? Do you want to see it again, side by side?
Yeah, show me again. Show me again.
Okay, fine.
Look. In the time in the time of Muhammad, Jews and Christians in the region knew Alexander the Great primarily through the legendary religious stories, not accurate history. What Christians knew, especially the Syriac Near Eastern Christians. The Syriac Alexander legend, also the Neshana, widely circulated in the 6th and 7th century. This Christian text portrayed Alexander as a monotheistic, God-fearing king, almost like a Christian hero. He was called the Two-Horned One. He traveled to the ends of the earth. He found the sun setting in murky fetid spring. He built a massive iron wall gate between two mountaintops. Or two traps, Gog and Magog, right? And until the end of times. Now, this is interesting. Where the hell is this wall at?
Where's the wall?
This massive iron gate that's in the Quran also.
That's the miracles of Allah. That's the miracles of God. They won't be able to break through that wall.
See how dumb you have to be
until the end of
part
time.
of this stupid cult. How can you be this stupid? Live yours. You're so young. You have a brain that God blessed you with, and you have to be this dumb. Do you know why I left Islam?
Listen, I don't want to know.
Because I met lots of stupid people.
No, listen, I don't want to know why you left Islam. But listen,
no, I told you. I just told you. I just told you. You don't have to ask. I'll tell you. I met lots of stupid people who believe this nonsense.
You just proved to me that Christians believed in Alexander the Great as well. You know that, I know.
No.
Hold on, guys. Look at this. The scholarly historical consensus. There is no archaeological evidence of a giant iron and copper wall matching the Quranic description anywhere in the world. The story is widely understood as drawing from pre-Islamic legends about Alexander the Great, who was said to have built gates in the Caucasus to keep out the barbarians. Many modern Muslims say that the wall either no longer exists, is hidden by Allah,
or
or
it is meant to be found in the end times.
Of course, it's hidden. It's hidden by Allah.
Do you
it's
think
hidden
we're
by
gonna
Allah.
find it? Do you think we're gonna find it?
I would say it's hidden by Allah.
Wait a second. Did Alexander the Great pass through this supposed gate by himself, or were there other people with him?
What gate?
Well,
what gate? Now, for what gate? What gate?
What gate?
I'm asking you a serious question. What gate?
I can't.
For real, what gate?
The one you just said that Allah hid.
Listen, that's a wall. It's not a gate. It's a wall.
It's a wall. Okay. Did Allah help Alexander the Great or Dhul Qarnayn to pass by himself, or were there other people with Dhul Qarnayn?
He had an army with him as well.
I see. So this army saw the gate, saw the wall.
They helped him build it, of course.
Okay. And now where is this wall?
It's been hidden from Allah.
Why is it hidden if people built it?
Why is it hidden? Because of the it's symbolic, isn't it? It's what do you mean? Why is it hidden? Allah can do whatever he wants.
A symbol of Allah's work,
Because
which is
if
not
people-
Allah's work,
if
but
people-
other people's work is hidden.
God's
by
God's so
Allah?
amazing.
Because it's
God's-
symbolic. What kind of
Allah's
logic
so-
is that?
Look at the prophecy.
No, let me tell you why. Allah's so amazing. Let me just say something, man. Please, wait, one more thing. Allah's so amazing, yeah. That look, there's a reason why he kept it hidden, because he knew that if the wall was visible to people, that they would have been let free, that someone would have probably been deceived. They would have probably thought, yeah, why not? Let me just see what will happen if I let this guy free. Boom, they probably would have broke the wall. They probably would have been able to break the wall. So Allah hid it for a
How
reason.
dumb is that?
Let's read the eschatology here. So look, what the Hadith says about the mechanism. The Prophet Muhammad explained the process in detail. Every day, Gog and Magog dig through the wall until they almost break through and can see sunlight.
Yeah.
Then their leader says, let's go back and finish tomorrow. Every day they say this. Overnight, Allah restores the wall to be even stronger than before.
Yeah, they have to say inshallah. If they say inshallah, they will break through.
This continues for centuries. On the appointed day, meaning on the last day, I guess, on the appointed day, they dig as usual, reach near the end.
Not on the last day. Not on the last day.
And their leader says,
it's not on the last day.
And their leader says, if Allah wills, we will break through tomorrow. That night, Allah does not restore the wall. They break through and swarm out like waves across the earth. This is the recorded Sahih Muslim Sunan Ibn Majah and other collections.
Aren't they people? Aren't there people?
Yeah, these people just stuck behind the wall for centuries.
Okay, so then what happens? What happens when these people, these Gog and Magog, when they come out? What happens?
Do you know what happens, bro? They're gonna cause havoc, bro. They're gonna cause. Madness.
This is talking about the last day.
No, it's not the last day.
Yes,
it's not
it
the last
look,
day.
Look,
it's not. I promise you, it's not.
Look.
The last day.
Look, Muslim scholars, hold on, brother. Muslim scholars generally explain it in one of these ways. One, the wall is still standing, but it's hidden by Allah in a remote mountain pass or as a matter of the unseen. Two, the wall was destroyed long ago and Gog and Magog have already been released in stages. Some hadiths mention a small breach already happened in the Prophet's time. The wall is not necessarily a single visible structure. It could be divine barrier, physical, or otherwise. Here's the important part. The important point is the fulfillment does not depend on a human finding the wall. It depends entirely on Allah's decree. When the time comes, one of the major signs before the day of judgment.
Yes, exactly.
Around the return of Isa, the barrier will fall by Allah's will, regardless of whether we can see it now or not.
So, brother, that's what I told you. Look.
So
these people.
So what you're telling me is that one of the signs of the end times is that this wall that we can't see is gonna break down.
Yeah, that's literally one of the major signs right before the day of judgment.
Can we find it on Google Earth?
Yeah, where's the location of Gog and Magog?
Just find it on Google Earth, bro. What do you think?
Nah, bro, I just told you it's hidden.
And you believe that?
What do you want to do? Why do you want to see it? I don't get it. Why do you want to find out
So
what
you
it is?
believe that there's actually a wall, but it's just hidden. Allah makes it appear as if there's not a wall.
Of course. That's God. He has the capability of everything. How can you not have the capability of making something hidden if it's not God?
I'm gonna wrap it there. Thank you guys. Rita, thank you as always.
No problem. Always a pleasure to be here.
Another beautiful day, guys. God bless you. Another beautiful day exposing Islam. I think you guys can pretty much see where this is going, right? It's just utterly ridiculous what these people believe in. Now Allah doesn't only make you see things like, like Jesus Christ getting crucified. It appears as if he was crucified. Now there is a wall, but Allah makes it appear as if there isn't a wall. But it couldn't be that maybe Allah just got it wrong, right? That's definitely not possible, right? We could never believe that, brother. It's like, where's the wall then? Because Allah says there's a wall. Oh no, brother, right now Allah's not showing you the wall, brother. That's what it is. It's not because it doesn't exist, right? JB Trade says, scary when you're doing the origin of the moon and the star. Oh, we got to do that one. I totally forgot. I planned on doing that today, but we might do that one tomorrow. It's hidden, brother. It's hidden. Brother, it's hidden, brother. Of course, obviously.
Stop the cap.
I don't know, man. Every day it just gets worse and worse and worse. But hey, but brother, our book is definitely preserved. What did you preserve exactly? A bunch of nonsense. Anyway, I appreciate you, Vanessa. Thank you for watching. Everybody else, thank you for watching. If you're not following, guys, go ahead and just give me a follow. We got 10 followers today. Also on YouTube, if you're not following there, these lives are all recorded on YouTube. So if you want to rewatch anything, go to Scary Hours Podcast on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube and you guys want to join live conversations on TikTok, just come over to Scary Hours Podcast Live. And you can join up anytime. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. See you tomorrow. YouTube, what up? What are you guys doing? This girl is so God, this girl. I'm not gonna say that. YouTube, what up? Yeah, if you guys want to join, anybody who disagreed with me today, feel free to join the TikTok next time. Just join the TikTok and join the conversation. No problem. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.